Hey, Holy Moses here at the Lake Frame compound. Want to welcome a lot of awesome guests tonight. We got some heavy hitters in the house. We got my friend Garrett Hoskins. We got Ben. We got Alex, and we got Mr. Johnny Adolfo in the house. You guys are from Local Minis. Garrett's from Negative Camber, aka NC. Welcome guys. Welcome to the show. Thank you for coming on.
Thank you.
Tell us a little bit about yourself. If Johnny, you guys want to go first and tell us a little bit about you and
All right. So I'm Johnny Adolfo, originally from Hawaii. Moved here in 1990. The scene in Hawaii was pretty awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's where I first saw my very first tilt bed. It was 85 style Mazda, I believe it was. And he would cruise it down the coast, tilted bed, and on the back it had the Tricks bunny on it. And
Yeah.
And it said Tricks are for kids. And so ever since I seen that truck, I've been always amazed with it. Yep.
Nice. Hell yeah. What about you?
Alex, originally from Miami, Florida.
Damn, you're far away.
Yeah, you're telling me. It's, living in the desert took a little adjustment.
Right? Instead of alligators, it's coyotes.
Yeah, kind of the same, totally different.
Yeah. Right?
That's right.
Only difference is they're going instead of.
That's right. Born and raised down there, Cuban, just living the life. And then in high school, saw a bunch of these trucks one day at a parking lot. And was like, man, I want to build something like that. And the crazy story is the very first mini trucking magazine I ever picked up had two trucks on the cover. The two guys had two Isuzus. One had a rear mounted motor, a purple Isuzu. The two dudes with it. And then a white one that had a tilt bed, guy and a girl. And first magazine I ever picked up.
What up, Dan?
And the crazy part was the guy on the cover ended up being the founder of our club. I met him later on. I had no idea it was him. And one day we were at a bar and he was talking about that day shooting that photo shoot.
Oh, shit.
And what a mess it was and all this stuff.
What up, Nico?
I got that magazine. So then moved out here about 10 years ago, 11 years ago, and trying to bring the club out west as far as we can get it.
Cool.
Yeah.
Cool. And Mr. Ben?
Yeah, I grew up in Iowa.
Iowa?
Yeah.
Kind of the same one.
Yeah.
A little bit different. Growing up in the Midwest, we were mostly like 4x4 pickup trucks, but I used to live to get the mini trucking magazines. And I always wanted the West Coast stuff, and my first truck was an 84 S10 and I cut the coils, put blocks on it. Always got stuck out in the snow because, there's...
You're the mini plow,
Yeah, you're mini trucking out there. Moved here back in 95 with my 91 Sonoma and got into a couple car clubs and, just kept going with it. And seeing obviously out here comparative is way bigger, obviously. So and much better weather for it. So
definitely, except right now it's like 100. All right, Mr. Garrett Hoskins.
Yeah.
Negative Camber. Holy
Yes,
shit,
sir.
dude. Thank you for
Thanks for having me, dude.
Well, having local minis, but it's been a while since I had an NC member in this seat.
Yes, sir.
So hopefully to get some more.
I was born in Albuquerque, but I didn't live there long. Basically, I'm from here. I came out here when I was 5 or
Yeah,
something.
moved here, 505.
Yeah, 505.
Yeah.
It's all about that green chili.
I love it. Red green, baby.
Can't live without it.
Can't live without it. Hell no.
Right.
But ever since I was young, I was into cars, mainly lowriders. But then when I started driving and everything, I can't afford to build a lowrider. That's not going to happen. So got a cool Honda. I bagged it, did all kinds of stuff, saved it, mini truck style. And graduated from car to truck, whatever.
Yeah, going back and forth.
Was in a couple little clubs, but then it was about 18 years ago I made it in the Negative Camber with my Frontier that I had.
And that's a big thing because a lot of people don't realize that Negative Camber is, I'm going to say like elite, the big, like an elite club. You hear Severed, you hear MC, it's like, and then you hear Relax, and then you hear
World
Sunset,
presence.
and then you start hearing, those are like big clubs that are like, okay, they're big. They're like the ones that everyone goes, all right, we're looking up to you guys. Are we following the same thing? You guys are big and you guys are worldwide.
And back in the day, you couldn't get in without having a truck that was featured.
Okay.
It had to be featured in one of the magazines. And mine was featured in Street Trucks, Mini Trucking, a couple other smaller mags. I think it was in Tailgate or something too.
Nah, but then
Yeah.
back in the day, that was like the risk
But,
games.
you know, that's what it took. And I was friends with a lot of the guys, and just one thing led to another. And a bunch of us from another club, we kind of all
What up?
migrated over at the same time. It was kind of, I think, 5 or 6 of us got in at the same time. So it's been that ever since.
Yeah, that's good, man. And it's cool though, because like you guys are OG guys in the game. Because when I was coming up, you know, when I was younger and growing up in the 80s, and I was watching my brothers. My older brothers were with their 720, and my brother was Mitsubishi, and later on he got Thunderbird. You know, and it was like going to shows, watching the evolution of like, all right, cool, everyone's static on blocks. Next minute, everyone's air shocks. Next minute, it's like bags, and then you see dudes hitting switches and
You got pull out radios and shit.
yeah. Dude, I remember my brother had a super tuner. Like it was a super tuner, like number 3, and it was a pull out Pioneer.
Yeah.
You know, and it was when it had the like orange the orange color dial.
Yeah.
So it's like
You had the purse, you had to put it in.
yeah, it was. My brother didn't have that. He was
Stop
carrying it.
using it, you just hide it in the
Fuck
bag.
it.
Then when it went to the detachable face, it was
Yes.
like,
Yeah.
damn,
Dude,
We
we-
made it.
he's got money.
I remember we used to put my brother would before the detachable, he would take 2 air vents and fucking like glue them together and
And
set
you
it
put
over the radio.
Genius.
We used to cut the old faces up like an audio.
Oh
box.
yeah, and then
Yeah.
just stick it other.
Yeah.
And nobody's gonna steal
Then
it.
it came in the little case that you could put the face in.
Yeah.
Close it, put it in your pocket.
99% of the time, it went in the glove box.
In the glove
Yeah.
box or under the seat.
But no, you were a baller if you were carrying it.
That's
Yeah,
right.
yeah,
That's
yeah.
right.
And everybody knew.
Everybody, and then you would
That was a
sit-
flex. You were walking around with the face of your
Yeah.
radio. Like,
You
all
sit there to your friends.
Yeah, those were the days right
Yeah,
there.
that's it. What up, Wes? Hell yeah, Wes.
Wes.
I like that fucking.
Yeah,
That's
Wes is a
Civic.
good dude.
Dude, he's doing pretty good shit with that fucking that
Bus.
Volkswagen.
Oh yeah, that's badass.
So, you know. All right, guys, here's some questions I got for you. So, like, what actually got you guys into the scene other than the trucks? Like, the stuff you're building now. I know, like, when you guys were younger, you guys picked up the magazine, checking out trucks. Like, was the first car you got what you hoped for, you know, when you guys started?
Mhm.
So, what was your guys' first
Who wants to
actual,
take
like,
that one? 'Cause that hurts
you know-
me just thinking
Yeah.
about
I mean, for me, it was what I hoped for the budget that I
Okay.
had. And I had to take it. You know, my dad, he's a car guy now. He wasn't then. Though. So
Okay.
everything I would do, you know, the little progression I was making, he was shaking his head at me like, "Why the fuck are you doing this to this car?" You know. But you know, it slowly evolved into a pretty dang cool car.
Yeah.
You know, and I loved it. You know, but it's what I could afford at the time. You know, sold it, and you know, move on to the next thing, and next thing you know, I have multiple cars at the same time, and it's, you know, I think it wasn't a mini truck, but it was definitely mini truck inspired.
Nice. Yeah.
That got me to the point where it was like, I knew the people I was hanging out with,
And
they
you're
knew
like,
the
yeah,
route I
that's
was
it.
going, but they knew that like it wasn't a tuner car, it was
Right.
bad.
And that's
you know,
tight though, because at that time when stuff like that was coming out, it was, you know, you had Lowrider Euro,
Yeah.
and then
Yeah,
you know,
that
that was like
Euro
the start of the
Yeah.
trend where, you know, you see guys that were putting switches on fucking Civics,
Yeah.
Accords, you know, they were sitting there fucking. I remember though the few car dances I remember watching, going with my brother, and you would see car dances, a couple Impalas, and you would see the little Honda dudes.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah, I know, like, and it looked crazy
And
though.
it's crazy.
Oh yeah, it
You
just
know,
looked
they're-
crazy though, because you would see a little prelude. It's like,
and they were banging them out with,
Oh,
the,
yeah.
with the velour
Oh,
interior
yeah.
and the candy paint
Oh,
and all
yeah,
the
yeah.
paneling and
Yeah.
everything.
And it's
The
crazy
buckets,
because when the evolution of it progressed, and like you said, it was mini truck inspired. And what's crazy is a lot of people don't realize that lowrider scene inspired a lot of mini trucks. It was the beginning of the mini truck scene in the Lowrider magazine, and then from there, I believe, from what I know, from what my research is that it broke off slowly, and then somebody's like, all right, let's do a magazine, and then it just progressed, and then it was just boom. You know, you had Grinder
Yeah.
Right.
magazine years ago. That was like a few pages. It had a Gumby's old
Yep.
station wagon in
The
it.
wagon, the
You know,
Magnum, yeah.
Yeah. So it's like a lot of people don't realize that lowrider culture started the mini truck trend because it was, you know, people were fucking getting 720s and
Mhm.
Mazdas and fucking, you know.
Because that's what you can afford too.
Yeah.
And when I was a
But
kid,
the
I didn't know how to
prices-
weld. I didn't know
Right.
how to cut things apart.
Yeah, but
we
remember
shaved
the
the
prices,
door. Yeah.
guys. The
Yeah.
prices of vehicles when I was growing up and you were growing up and you guys were growing up was way different. Like now, yeah, when you said, shit, we could have bought them at a fucking 1,100 a pop. Yeah, I remember my first Nova was $600 and it was a 74. The
Yeah.
pickup I bought later on in the years, the 71 Chevy, I bought that for $1,000.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Now I'm looking at it, I'm like, holy shit, I should have just
Yeah,
not,
yeah.
you know. It's like, yeah, you know, but it's like the prices of back then compared to what we've seen online now is just like, what the fuck are you know, you don't have gold.
Yeah.
You know?
They
But
think they.
I know I don't have gold, but when somebody goes, hey, what are you gonna sell your Mazdas for? I go, when they're done, give me 10 grand. Why? Because you got one that's automatic and you got one that's a 5-speed. If you get bored, you can go chirp gears. You know, and everyone's like, oh, you're retarded. I know, but one day retarded's gonna go, hey, how you doing? I heard you got some trucks. You want to sell them? Okay, cool. Let's talk. You know, like you guys heard, everybody has a number.
Yep.
Everybody has a
There's a number
price.
for everybody. Yep.
You know, so it's like compared to like what you guys seen in the scene, do you believe that the prices are just increasing more because of the shows that are on, or because of car enthusiasts?
I mean, I was at a shop not that long ago, and the first words out of their mouth was, I told them I just bought a Mini, right? Because I'm working on a 79 Suburban
Okay.
at home. And
Oh,
then I decided to buy that extra cab Toyota, and because I was just being nostalgic, and it was super expensive. And I happened to walk in the shop, and I was telling them about it. They're like, we were just having this conversation. The Mini scene is coming back. They're holding a lot more value, and it could be a million different reasons, right? The economy, the world we live in the car business, where you can't go buy a new car now, so people are just going to stick on and keep their old stuff.
oh yeah, you're
And that's
fixing.
driving the price. Or guys that are in our age group now that are being nostalgic about what
Yeah.
we used to
You
drive,
said, no, yeah.
right?
that's it.
Because I mean, again, I just paid more. I paid 3 times as much for this
What up,
same
Jessica?
truck that I bought 20 years ago.
Yep. 100%.
Yeah. So there's a combination of things, but I think a lot of it is now, we collectively are in a much better position than we were when we were kids.
Yeah.
Right? Didn't
Yeah,
know
oh.
how well, didn't know the financial aspect.
But
of
we
it.
want what we had when we were a kid.
Yes, yes, that's
We can do it better
true.
now, right? Because
That
we
is
can do it better.
definitely true. We all want what we couldn't have when we were
And the
kids.
game that evolved, we know we can do it so much better, and so
Absolutely.
much nicer.
Because we got the technology, we're not sitting there like we used to being
Exactly.
bums about shit.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Yeah. Some of us want to fucking build some fucking shit, rail it, and yeah, I drive a shit box, but I fucking rail it every weekend. Cool. Then you got the guys that are cool. I drive my rolling piece of art. Don't park near me. I will slap you. You know, you better get your kid away from my shit. You know, like where you want to drive it, you're trying not to fucking fuck shit up because you know how long it took you to get.
Oh yeah.
You know, and then you got guys that are just like, fuck it, I'll slap it on the trailer, call it a day. What up, Chaos? Fucking shame. You know, so it's like that other matter that people don't, when you're building something, you got guys that are in the rain, like I said, we're trying to get the stuff we have when we were little. You know, now shit. I still can't believe the stuff that I own that I could say, shit, I used to drive something like that, you know. When you look back, like, damn, dude, I used to drive that. You know, I had one of those.
I kind of want one again.
Yeah. And then you sit there and you look at the price and you're like, nah,
Do I really want it?
do I need it? Or can I find one without a motor and a trans?
That is gonna give me
You
shit
can
for-
find that all day long.
He's gonna give me shit for saying this, but that white one outside my kid's truck, that's not even mine.
Oh shit.
Yeah, even though they swear it's mine because I'm the one that drives around town.
Right, yeah.
You drive. You're the only one that takes it to shows.
Right.
But
They want to go to Doge Bros and you're like, no, we
Yeah,
got to go over
exactly.
here.
exactly, but it's got a watch link, and so that
Yeah.
shit didn't exist
No,
25, 30 years ago.
all that was ahead of its time.
Yeah.
Like a lot of vehicles were ahead. I think Jason. I think it's only one guy on the planet buying old
Fester.
vintage. Fester.
I don't
Yeah.
know.
Yeah, you ain't lying. You ain't lying.
Listen,
Yeah.
Tommy's buying a bunch of stuff too.
No, well, like the way I look at it like this on that subject, and we're gonna talk about that at 9:00, because for me, like I look at it like you're passing the torch. You know what I mean? Like Fester is doing his own thing.
Yeah.
You know, and I believe like it's a passing
He's a
torch.
caretaker.
Yeah, he's a guy
And
that
he's in our
he's a
club.
historian.
Yeah, he's in our club, and
You know,
he's a caretaker.
He is a
He
historian.
takes these cars and
Do you think
fixes them, trucks, fixes
Yeah.
them, gets them back to back to
Oh,
their
and
glory.
the stuff that he's
I mean-
got hidden in that garage.
I mean, he's got one of the trucks you know, a lowrider truck.
Oh, yeah.
was-
Yeah.
To me, back in the day, the truck wrapped with envy.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That,
And Toy, doesn't he got Toy Rover?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah. I think.
I don't know what he has. I mean,
Yeah.
he's
No,
got-
but it's crazy though because
side, doesn't he have side shoe too?
yeah.
I mean, he's
Shout
got-
out to Fester because
Yeah,
shout out to
Fester. Fester, if you're listening, if somebody gets a hold of him, I want to put you in the chair, man. Like
Yeah.
because I want to
Yeah.
pick your brain.
Yeah.
Like just to sit with that man and be like, dude, you are a mini truck historian.
Yeah.
He is.
He's and then we'll get onto it at 9 of the passing of the torch, but you know, let's get back to like
And he
you know.
brings them all out too.
Yes.
And that's what I think is cool. He
Yeah.
doesn't stuff them in his garage and say, "Oh, I want these trucks. Yeah, I have them."
Yeah,
But,
yeah.
dude, you know,
Oh,
he'll,
no.
he'll bring out 2 or
Dude.
3 trucks to a show, and it's just like, what the, you
No,
know?
it's badass because like I sent my older brother pictures of Rapwood Envy because I remember when Fester was doing the wheels and
Yeah.
should I keep them or give them out to someone, and I showed my brother and he goes, he has that, and I go, yeah. I go, he has that. I go, he's bringing it back to what it was. He
Yeah,
goes,
man.
dude, he goes, who the hell do you know? And I go, I don't know. I go, he's just somebody I go to car shows with and met him and
Yeah,
had a Coke, had a soda with the guy. You know, it's like,
And he, like Time Machine. I mean, that's
Oh,
a truck. That
just
truck is
iconic.
still top
Okay.
of the game.
Yeah.
okay,
for sure.
so here we go on that. So that's a good question. So last look, Time Machine. Do you feel that those vehicles, yes, they were ahead of their time, also with Far From Losing It. Those were ahead of their time builds compared to now. Like, do you say we can look back at that and go, okay, that was futuristic at the time when we were, when you guys
The
were
level of
building and
detail was second to none. I'm
Oh,
glad
You can say that now. I mean, it's,
the stained glass is what I like.
That's
The back.
right.
it's
That is
next
fucking-
level.
right,
You
right.
know,
That
you don't
wouldn't
see that.
necessarily-
That you don't even see that anymore.
No, you don't.
You don't.
Or engraved glass.
Right,
Engraved
Right,
glass.
and it's just, you look at the graphics and how some of the graphics
Mhm.
are 3D, and it's just like, it's still next level. You
Oh, yeah.
park it next to anything. It's,
And it's just unreal,
yeah. And to see somebody take such good care of it, put a lot of pride into it.
Do
I mean,
do you
he's
guys,
a great dude. He's a
do
cool.
you
dude.
guys feel that at one point in time? Do you guys feel that one day you hope a vehicle of yours would sit in his garage or would sit in someone as a caretaker? Tom, Fester, the big heavy hitters, that are around town. Like, is it like as a mini truck? Like for me, if one day I have them done and they look good, and somebody goes, "Hey man, what's his name wants to talk to you." Will you sit there and be like, all right, cool. Would you here, take it? Or would you be like kind of hesitant to be like, okay, I know you're the man. I know you're going to do good things with this, but it's could you hand over?
If it's your baby,
You hand over your baby,
you're
yeah.
like,
Mine would go to
I
my
don't
kids.
know.
Yeah, see,
I've got 2 boys that one of them, he's into tuner cars.
Ain't nothing wrong with that.
No, nothing at all. He does.
And they're nice too.
Tell him
Right.
that you can do 10 seconds doing 3-wheel.
Well,
We'd just like to go slow so people can see it.
Yeah,
Right,
that's all.
exactly. Everybody's all, put this motor in it, put an LS. I'm like, no, I bought it because it's got the 2.2 in it. I don't need to go fast. What for? I might as well have kept my Silverado if I want that. I went to a smaller motor because I was paying $400 a month just in fuel.
Oh,
Now I'm only at 150,
Yeah.
150 a month.
Michael Apers, JDM is life. I understand that, but sometimes we want gas mileage. If you can give us a 4-cylinder gas mileage in a fucking V8 or an LS, call us.
Yeah.
Like definitely, because we want to know that secret.
22 RE, baby.
Right.
So
There
there
you
you
go.
go. We'll run forever.
You know what's weird? Here's the weird thought. If we can figure out how to get the gas mileage from a motorcycle to a regular
Right.
vehicle, tell me that wouldn't be the shit. Because
hey, you
some-
could put
yeah.
a motorcycle in a
Yeah.
Volkswagen,
I know that. Yeah.
Volkswagen Bug. So
Yeah, I know that.
Yeah.
But I'm saying, like, to be able to take that gas mileage knowledge and shove it in a fucking V8.
There's that video of that S10 with the lawnmower motor in it.
I saw that. I seen that. No, you know what's funny? They showed a fucking car. It looked like a old 300 in a junkyard somewhere out in the Midwest. And you open the hood and it was a 2.2 Mazda in there.
Mhm.
Like it was in an auction line, and when the guy opened the hood, it's like, that's not a Hellcat.
nowadays anything's possible.
You know what's crazy?
Yeah.
How do you guys feel on people that are body swapping? to newer age vehicles that are taking classics and shoving them on BMWs, Audis. You know, yeah, like the dude that's in California that has a BMW on the 56
Right.
Chevy.
Right.
Yeah. Like, how do you guys feel? How's your take on that?
I'd hate to have to work on all the computer stuff that starts breaking down, but it's cool. I mean, teach
There's
their
a
own.
teach your own, you know, everybody, there's,
If it can be done right,
yeah,
you know,
That's the key,
it's cool. If it's
right?
done right,
If
it's
it's
put
done right,
together
it's done
right,
right.
you know, and it doesn't look hacked up, and you know, there's all these panels covering the dash because it trying to fit. If you
Yeah.
can do it right, I'm okay with it. I mean, stuff nowadays runs good, so if it can run good and look good, what? You know,
Okay, but like on the take of like the body swaps, do you think a lot of people go, oh my god, they're fucking ruining it? Supercharged V6s. Yeah, that's called a Nissan Xterra. That's the only ones I know. Is the Xterras.
Let's go back to the Cyclone and Typhoon days.
Oh yeah,
You
dude,
know,
those
come on, man.
those were fucking something else. You know, if you had a Typhoon, you know. But with the body swaps, what is it, Jason? I don't get why people. Shut up, yo. Shut up, Jason. You're putting LS in your Lincoln way. Fucking this one. This one, I don't get why people put LS motors in a Yoda. Yeah, but he's putting that in his Lincoln.
that's different, though. I mean, that's different.
Gas mileage is overrated. Forced induction is the world.
There you go. There it is.
Yeah.
I think it's cool. I just think, like you said, and as long as somebody's doing it and doing it properly, and you look in there and it goes, wow, that actually fits.
Yeah.
It looks like it's supposed to.
That fooled me.
Because technically, they could build the car and still ruin it if they were doing it original style or with the same chassis.
All right.
They could ruin it doing it that way.
Yeah.
You know,
There's
so
plenty of those out there.
there's
Yeah,
plenty of
there's-
those out there, and you know, if it's an older car, a lot of times from the door down underneath, it's jacked.
Yeah.
So like, you know, you have a bad frame and needs floors and everything,
What? I tell you,
and you got a good running BMW that you don't care about, like
shove it on top. Yeah, right.
as long as it's not cheesy. I
Well,
think
if you
it's
think about it, right? It's about that shock and awe factor, right? Like, you know,
100%.
you're right. You show, you know, when you look at it, you go, damn, okay, cool. If you see one of those same swaps, you know, as you're walking up to it, you know, you don't see anything until you realize what they did, and then you're like, damn, okay, this is
Because I've seen a lot of the Ford pickup ones. Derek, what up? Oh shit, Derek got his caregiver later to let him out, guys. So he got signed out. So we know Derek's all right.
he's on the list.
Yeah, you know. But like when it comes to the swaps and stuff, like some of the dudes are like you said, you know, you don't realize it, and then you got guys where you just look at it and you're like, you know, a lot of Ford dudes are infamous. A lot of Ford pickups that you see the 60s, the 50s are a lot of fucking Crown Vic frames.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? So like that's where it's just like, all right, does it differ in price when you go to resell it? Because I've seen some online where they're bad and they're going for fucking retarded amount of price.
Well, and my opinion on that, I think it's different because if you're using a Crown Vic and you're using it for the frame and just using the frame and putting the Ford body on that, that's a little different than cutting the body off a unibody car
like a Beamer, you know,
or
Miata
something,
or 300,
and putting a body over that.
like the dudes that are
You
doing
know,
like Hellcat.
Chassis swaps have been happening since
The dog is dying, yeah.
everybody
Texas,
buys a Model A, a 30 Model A,
Yeah.
and put it on 32 rails. I mean,
Yeah,
that's
so like I
So-
said, like on that, that's like I said when we were outside. Oh shit, Derek got some money on the Definitely. Like I said on that is like how you said, you know, they're doing, you can still fuck it up. You know, but at one point do you say, hey dude, come fuck them. Bruh, I can't buy parts for a 64 Lincoln motor. Isn't it just a 350? 351 or whatever? Like
I don't know what
351,
comes
right?
in my Lincoln. I don't know.
I know they're a V8, so I'm gonna say it's like probably a 351. Thanks, Dad, for putting money up. But with the swaps and everything, do you feel with electric? I always had a notion of one day buying a Nissan. Like years ago, I wanted to get a Nissan Leaf and then we'll get a hard body and then marry it somehow. Don't give me that face, Wade. Don't give me that face. You look like somebody just gave you a bad piece of calamari. No, Garrett's already pointed the corner. No, but I wanted to do it was like to the factor of, okay, do the electric so I can roll up somewhere and go, sir, you can't park there. No, it's okay. Plug right the fuck in and just lay it out and be like, watch the look on somebody's face. Go, are you fucking
Well, you
serious?
can do it now. You just have to go on Etsy and you can buy the little fake plug. Stick it
I saw that yesterday.
I did too. I saw that.
That's
Like, I'm electric. No, don't worry.
Did somebody do that to a Lincoln already?
There's a company.
there's-
A caddy.
a Cadillac.
There's
a
Caddy.
Yeah, there's a company in town that's doing that. I
That's
can't
it.
remember the name, but
So from what I know, there's a Caddy. There's a guy online who bought a 32 Roadster and converted it to electric. There's a guy who has a 56 or 57, like a shoebox style body. I'm gonna say it might be a Ford or it might be a Chevy, and he has all Tesla inside, Tesla motor, Tesla conversion kit. You know, and it's like you sit there and it's like, okay, cool. To me it looks cool, but at the same time, I'm like you said, what the fuck happens when you break down? You know what I mean? Like, you can't walk in the AutoZone and go to Tesla and be like, hey man, my fucking 56 Chevy Deluxe, the battery pack went out.
Is it a 2-wheel or 4-wheel drive?
Yeah, you're like, no, you're like, bro, the battery pack went out. Like, you know, it's like you can't even get a dude. I remember I had a Dodge Ram and the belt was completely different from the factory, and you would have. I'm like, you got a what? And I go, look, dude, I need a belt that's this long.
This long, period.
And he was like, well, what for? I'm like, no, dude, I need a belt this long.
Then you're wrapping it around.
Yeah,
this
it's
neck.
like, so with the electric, go try to get. I know, dude. I'm just giving you shit, Wayne. I'm just giving you shit. Jason, we're gonna bring him on once his Lincoln's done. So yeah, everybody thought he was Tom. Yeah, when I had him and Joey on, everybody thought it was Tom. Like, what is that, Tom Jenkins? No, it's Jason Silva.
Jason Silva.
Like,
How does Tom
I don't know how you
feel?
look at that.
The handsome devil.
Yeah.
Jason
That's
Silva.
yeah.
Love you, Jason.
Yeah, we love you, buddy. Do you guys think that we're going to be modern age hot rodders with the electric movement that's going, with everything that's been happening lately with CDK? You know, I deliver car parts, and I know some of you guys are in the car industry also. What up, John? You know, so like, do you guys feel like, will we be the modern day hot rodders 5 years from now, or are we just still going to be pumping fucking ethanol and, you know, some gasoline?
I just don't see it. I mean,
No.
Even with what they're doing right now in the automotive industry.
well,
Because right now they're hitting us very hard. If they wanted us convert us to
They're
electric,
trying to.
well,
you know,
but
this is
hold
where
on.
it's at.
And I'm on the retail side, just like he is, right? So Volkswagen just announced that they're pulling back on their original ruling that they were going to be all electric by 2032.
oh, there you go.
Yeah, so they pulled out of that. All these other manufacturers are pulling back. Ford just announced that they were no longer going to pressure dealers into doing the full-on electric deal. So I think they're realizing that, one, you'll never force the American public to do that kind of stuff.
But
Right.
No.
okay, but I know that. But right now, the way CDK got hit, I deliver car parts, and you know, you guys work for car
Yep.
dealerships, and you got, you know, your parts dude. So I deliver to you guys.
Mhm.
So right now, literally, like, the rumor is like, if they wanted to convert us to electric, this is the only way they're going to hit us, because it's going to force dealerships it's going to force people to be like, okay, cool, we can't fix your shit. You
But
know,
here's- but here's the opposite problem.
we can't get parts to you.
Here's the opposite problem. Now, you're the consumer, right? And CDK, for those that don't know, right,
Yeah.
operating system got hacked. Do you want to drive a vehicle that can get hacked that easily?
Fuck no.
Bingo.
No.
So how are you going to convince?
But see-
it's going to scare people away from it.
But see, here's the weird part. I know a guy who bought a Tesla, and I asked him that, and he goes, "Oh yeah." I go, "If it's in the contract, why are you going to sign over? Why are you going to sign it stating that if they want to shut you off at any time, they can fucking shut you the fuck off?"
I just
Right.
think,
That's
you know,
giving control to them, not
Yeah, like,
Yeah.
but with the
your
electric
self.
side, do you guys think that with everything that's going on now, do you think that they're going to sit there and go, all right, cool, you know, you guys can't get your shit, you know, let's take electric,
nope.
you know, or they're going to remember cash for clunkers?
So
Yeah.
I'll backdate you. I've been in
Okay.
the car business since 1995, right? It's the only thing I've ever done.
Okay.
Sold cars, was
Yeah.
finance man, blah, blah, blah. So back then, the internet was coming out, right? Oh my God, pricing in the 2000s, internet's coming. There's so much data in the internet now.
Yeah,
The
Tim.
car business
Yeah.
is going to be different. And it wasn't. All the internet is now is a department within the car dealership.
Yeah.
Right? It didn't take over the business. It's a department within. If you want to buy a car online, you can go boom, boom, boom. You'll communicate with somebody online, and they will sell you the car, and you can show up. But that's a department within the grand scheme of things.
Yeah.
So I don't think my opinion, right? That electric is gonna take over the industry. It may be a department within, you know, if you're hell bent on getting an electric car because you love them for some strange reason, maybe it's where you work, no comment.
Yeah.
You show up to the
There you go,
dealership,
man. There
you
you go.
show up to the dealership and you know, you wanna look at the electric weird looking car that makes funny noises. Great,
Yeah.
go to that department and buy that car.
Yeah.
But I don't think it's gonna take my opinion. I don't think it's gonna take.
No.
And just from my
Man,
perspective,
don't
from where
bring
I
up
look at,
cash for clunkers. So
Yeah.
many
Yeah.
badass rides. Yes,
Yeah.
we know that.
seriously, yeah.
Right now, at every dealership, some Roman sent me a picture one time from his dealership that Larry Miller Dodge out on 17 and whatever.
Yep.
You know, offered a guy like told him like gave him like I think it was like $1,100 or $1,200 for a Honda Accord that was like mint, like low mileage, straight pulled it out of his garage, like you know, like the infamous. I drove it to church,
Yeah.
Right.
like primo
Yeah.
condition, and they like gave him a couple grand for it, and then just sat in the back. I'm like,
Yeah.
how the fuck
That
does
technically
that
is gonna buy
happen?
that.
Yeah.
It's like I told somebody, I go, if you want a good old car, good original car that's not been fucked with, not been molested, not fucking cut up, go look around Sun City.
Yeah.
You know, those guys got cars. If
Coming out of
you
there,
if you
yes.
took a fucking drone and overhead Sun City, there's 2 or 3 guys that their whole backyard's full of classics.
Yeah.
What up? Just plain trick.
I just think if you look at the market now with electric,
Mhm.
so many dealerships are flooded with the vehicles.
It's
They
an
can't
But they're
sell them.
sitting
It's an
there.
anchor.
It's a
They're just
huge
sitting
anchor,
there. They're not
and,
going anywhere.
I mean, I think back in the day when natural gas was the new.
Oh, I
Yeah.
remember
Yeah.
that way. I
Yeah.
remember that.
C-
The
CNG.
CNG,
right?
CNGs,
Yeah.
Everybody
a lot of
remembers
Fords.
that was the
Yeah.
latest and greatest.
Honda.
A lot of Fords,
You can
Hondas.
convert
Yeah,
the car you
yeah,
have, or you can buy a car that's CNG.
Oh,
Yeah.
you better biodiesel. And then you
Dude,
smell
why-
like French fries.
And then what happens? Like it's
It-
not
it
the
shorted
latest.
out,
and
yeah.
greatest.
Well, and you know what happened in Arizona with the CNG is like the lawmakers passed it so they would get people to start doing that.
Right?
And the taxi companies from California came in here and got all their vehicles converted over because they got this huge
Yeah,
benefit
yeah,
to
yeah,
that.
yeah.
and
They
then
converted all the buses.
then
Yeah,
they lost-
and there's
lost
only
it.
and there's only 2 gas stations that are
Right.
CNG,
Right.
and you know where they're at? Lower fucking Buckeye,
Yeah.
all the way out in
So,
fucking
good
BFE,
luck.
bro.
You know, that's
Yeah.
that's how I see the electric. I mean,
Yeah.
it's I
You think it's just going to be another fad?
yeah,
that'll
and
come go?
dealerships are, there's some dealerships not even taking those cars in on trade. If
Okay.
you have one,
Okay.
sorry,
Yeah.
we'll sell you the car you want, but we don't want that because they straight go to wholesale. you
Oh, they
know,
do,
and,
yeah.
and a lot of these
Yeah.
manufacturers with their reselling of parts or selling of parts, they don't even sell to dealerships. They want to keep Tesla
Tesla's
won't sell.
one, yeah.
Tesla won't sell wholesale.
Tesla
So
Okay.
won't honor
you get a car in our
third
shop.
parties to help fix cars. either.
Really?
Yeah.
You know what's funny? There are several. There was a post today about a Cybertruck and the salvage yards.
Yeah.
Yeah, from
But-
yeah.
$5 from-
Yeah,
No, it's just-
yeah, definitely, yeah. So there's dealerships
Yeah.
around Scottsdale area, and we're around, like Frank Lloyd Wright, around by the air park.
Mhm.
There are dealerships by Classic Collision off of 186th Place, and they literally are a third party for Teslas, and they have just a line of shit, just all Teslas, Cybertrucks, and they're just sitting there with fucking repair stickers.
Yeah.
And
I
it's just like, and you sit there and you have a collision shop, and then you have an automotive shop, and they're just cranking out shit.
Yeah.
And then you see guys on forklifts just backing
Well,
out
and-
one car.
And in my business too, like, so we maintenance cars, we do the maintenance work. We do all the, anything the car needs, we do at my dealership, right? And the electric cars, there's no work for us. It's not like a normal car where it needs a timing belt or, belts. It's
Oil
just
change.
basically
Yeah.
tires.
I mean, you
Tires,
got
right.
Guy came in
filters
for an
and
oil
brakes,
change.
and it
Tires.
cuts into everybody's pocket. that
You
way.
have the 72-point inspection
Yeah.
still?
Yeah.
Right?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Okay, because
But-
I remember, like you said, the car comes in. Hey, he's here for an oil change. How, when you're doing an inspection, you have to take off all the tires. You got to mic everything. You can mic the rotors. You take the tire gauge, check the fucking depth of the tire tread. You're looking at every fucking stupid crevice.
Yeah.
And you're
on the
trying to
electrics,
sell.
You don't have any of that.
No,
No.
there's no maintenance work for it. So it's money, it's income for a lot of people. Technicians, oh great, they get to do brakes and tires or change out a headlight bulb or something like that. But there's just like no, it's not like a regular car where you're doing oil changes, tranny flushes, you know, all the
CV
filters,
axles,
belts,
yeah.
timing belts, where you can make good money.
Yeah.
But
do you guys feel with the price and inflation that's going on, do you feel that move your purse off though? Fuck you, Dan. Not a purse, bitch.
Wow.
Bitch, it's not a purse, bro. Don't be jealous, fucking Dan. Bitch.
I think part of the problem is
It's a gift from my old lady.
technology is not there
Yeah.
like as what
Yet?
we've wanted to be
Okay.
yet. And I think there are like the hydrogen cars, the air power cars, you know, people really need to take a little bit more time to really do this. All these battery plants that are coming up and trying to make better lithium batteries, great. But that's long term out there. The short term right now is those cars cannot be fixed cheap enough.
No.
You know,
So
if
no
you got
matter
a car
what-
that's $60,000, you got a $50,000 battery pack.
Pretty much a fucking
You're-
paperweight.
You throw it
I
away.
got a paperweight.
I
Yeah,
think
that's
the
I agree
Real
with
life
Ben on that.
example, to his point.
Yeah.
The opposite, right?
Okay.
So the company I work for, we provide extended warranties.
Okay.
Right? And it's written in the contract. It will pay up to the value of the car, period. Had a guy needed a new battery on
What's
an
up, Justin?
electric
Yeah,
Fiat.
Justin, I'm drinking.
Yeah.
The battery was more than the value of the car, so it didn't pay
No, don't worry.
Yeah.
because it can only pay to so much.
Yeah.
So
I like
you know,
how
people don't
everybody's-
think about that stuff.
I like how everybody's worried that I'm not drinking. It's not
yeah,
bad.
and the overall value, you buy the car, it's $60,000,
Oh,
and 2
shit.
years later, it's worth $25,000.
Yeah,
You know, and
well,
it's
You
yeah.
can't get rid of it.
and
No,
you can't
no,
get rid of
no.
it. So
You can if you fucking find somebody who, like my dad always says, if somebody wants that car
There's an ask
or
for
that
receipt.
vehicle,
there is
somebody's
an
gonna buy it.
receipt, but there's also
Yeah.
an extremely saturated market for it.
Definitely. That is true.
Now, don't get me wrong. The performance and all the the bells and whistles and stuff you get in some of those cars, yeah, they throw you back, and it's second to none. I mean,
I think
it's
a lot-
unreal.
right?
But is it for me? No.
No.
And will I ever convert anything I own to electric? No. Man.
All right, what about
I'm
you?
cool
I
with
was
4
gonna-
miles to the
Okay,
gallon.
I'm good with
Sign me up.
Well, what about Mr. Silent Treatment over there? No, I don't.
No,
All right, Johnny.
Not
Like, what
fair.
about you, Wade?
nope.
No?
No.
You just straight out fucking gasoline until you till the
Yes.
wheels fall off.
That's it.
Yep, that's
Okay.
it.
So if somebody one day goes, wherever you work at, if somebody offers you guys money and go, hey man, I love what you guys do. I love what your work. I want to give you an electric vehicle. Do what you want with it, but I want you to put my name on it, and it's gonna represent you.
I drive a hybrid. My company gives me a hybrid to drive,
Yeah.
but it's gas. It's not a plug-in hybrid.
Is it CNG?
It's a standard hybrid.
Is it a biodiesel? You're gonna go to
No,
Burger King?
no, it doesn't smell like French fries.
He's not gonna go to roll up Filiberto's and be like, bitch, give me all the fucking prices.
Just pump it in the back.
Pump it in the back,
I'll
man.
pop the trunk and then.
Don't worry. Like, see the big filter? You pour it in there.
That to me is where it should go.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Is you have a battery resource that allows you to get more miles to the gallon. My car gets almost 500 miles to a fill. And it's a
Okay.
4-banger and it has plenty of low end torque because of the electric. But it's my daily driver as a company car, and I drive all over Arizona from Flagstaff down to Sierra Vista and everywhere in between.
Slim Tesla.
Got great gas mileage. So I think that is more feasible, better technology, and that's.
And I agree 100%.
Okay.
Yeah.
And that's
All
what I was
right.
going to bring in too. Is like you could take something like the 2.2 liter or something
Yeah.
that's not typically got a lot of anything
Yeah.
going on with it, and have an electric.
Other than gas
Okay,
mileage,
but that,
other
but,
than gas
okay,
mileage,
that I understand that because you're okay. If it's not something and it's like, oh yeah, it's only we're putting in something that we're not gonna beat the shit out of. Yeah, go for it. You fucking
I mean,
convert
just
it. Okay.
Give it some hybrid
Yeah.
and have the best of both of them.
But his S10 getting 500 miles to the gallon parked outside.
Right.
No,
Like
what you
that.
need to what you need to do, Johnny, is fucking have that convert it somehow to like a weird like.
Or electric actuators for his bed.
There you go. God,
And what do they call it? They call it what? Range anxiety or
Right,
something
yeah.
like that. That's a real
Oh,
thing.
yeah,
Like,
it is.
people really do.
That car business created an illness.
I get
Range
it.
anxiety.
I know.
But it's a real thing. Like
Yeah.
people are like, dude,
Freaking out.
I don't know if I can do 200 miles on a charge and
It's-
wait.
But
an
see,
hour.
you shouldn't.
That's-
There's
it's
no
either-
reason.
yeah.
There's no. That's like somebody going, "Hey, my fucking fleshlight only has a battery charge for 2 minutes, but I can't get it under 2 minutes. What do I do?
We got
Plug
two
them in.
guys- two
Like,
guys for
why-
you. One of our guys owns a
Electricity
a
is
golf shop.
freeway. Electricity
Oh,
is fucking free. Like there shouldn't be people freaking out for that.
But it's not free.
That's all.
You still got to pay for it.
Yeah, you did.
It's cheap.
You're plugging it in
But,
your house.
you know,
Wayne.
hey, time is money, man. If
Yeah.
you want to sit
That's
there
right.
for an hour and charge your car,
Fuck,
that's
I don't-
fine.
Hell
But I
no.
can
No,
fill
it
up
takes
my.
you what, 5
I-
minutes
I-
to fill up my truck.
Hey,
Exactly.
I know for a fact that if I ran out of gas on the freeway, I would get 1 out of 5 people go, hey man, I'll give you right up the street to the gas station.
Yes, sir.
It'll take 7 or 8 hours, maybe 12,
Yes.
but somebody will stop. I'll get maybe a creepy trucker guy that'll be like, you want to come? I'll take you down the street. No, but
Get in there and ask
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, but no, but 1 out of somebody's gonna go, hey, when you're in an electric car, be like,
I need a push.
yeah, because I
Oh,
don't know
yeah,
where
try that.
I don't know where there's a plug.
Yeah.
Like-
This thing only weighs 10,000 pounds. Will you push me down the
Oh
street?
yeah, So
Yeah,
like,
it's all battery weight.
That's right, all of it.
It's
yeah.
all bad. Yeah, I mean, it's.
so with that, like, I believe, like for me, 5 years from now, I believe 5 years from now, like those things are just gonna be like something where they go, you guys had electric cars.
No, it's exactly it.
Like,
remember
what the
when? Remember when it was a big
Yeah.
deal to have
When you thought you couldn't make it because you couldn't get to the next club,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah. I remember when fucking, what was it? When they did CNG, and I remember when the Y2K bullshit happened.
Oh yeah.
And when the gas shortage happened for a while. I was in Wyoming. I was actually in automotive school when the gas shortage happened, and my dad was like saying, "Fucking fuck you, Dan. You go to lowrider shows, so we know you show your fucking butthole to everybody." Goddamn.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, electric cars have been around forever, though.
Oh,
If you
yeah.
look at it, like Steve in our club, he's got one from 1914, and I think he's got a 1922 Detroit Electric that still works.
And
You know,
that's
they've been around
badass.
forever, and they are cool. But I don't.
You,
I would say take it
you,
over.
you don't think it'll be something that
No.
people will be like, all right, cool, we're gonna
I
you
don't-
have to cash your car.
I don't think the government's going to be able to mandate. I mean,
Even though what they're doing right now.
it doesn't.
Think of what's happening in California. They can't sustain without
With the grid.
those mandates. Their grid, they have brownouts and blackouts. Can you imagine if most of those cars were electric?
And the lines
Right.
to charge are hours long.
And they
Right.
never, they
It's like-
never
it's-
literally
you know what
said,
it
"Don't
is?
charge your cars tonight."
You know what it is? It's like watching the gas shortage, but with electricity in California. You're like,
Really?
"Man, you guys are
Yeah.
weird over
But
there.
the-
Electric
you
cars
know,
are bad. Yeah, we know that.
The lines to charge are hours
Yeah.
long. Then it's an
How
hour or
does that
30
make any
minutes.
sense?
It doesn't,
Exactly.
right?
Okay, so with that and everything that we've seen throughout the car industry come about, and everything that we've watched as drivers, kids, and now we build our own shit. Do you think that when full circle comes around, do you think history is repeating itself? With bringing the electric back, trying to convert people to gas, trying not people to get electric, don't do gas. Like, do you think it's just coming around circle, or do you think, like you said, hey, they've been around since the 40s?
Yeah.
All right, cool. But do you think it's going to come around, and will it stay, or do you think like we're going to be a modern day hot rod guys? We're going to be the guys that go, hey, dude, so can you tell me how was it? When that happened, are we going to be those dudes that be like, yeah, we're still pumping gas?
I don't think it's going to
It'll
change
just.
that drastically.
No.
I think it's in this
Do you
point
think
right
we'll
now that
see it?
they're
Do you believe we'll see? You guys believe we'll see it in our lifetime?
what full electric.
Full electric, or any kind of modification that will come to the custom car industry. You know what I mean?
No, I think what we're going to see is these different avenues instead of just full electric, like Toyota and Honda, investing into like hydrogen powered cells that you can swap in
Dude,
and
I
out.
want to see a mini truck on some water gas.
Yeah, dude. I tell you what.
What are you driving? I drive on 5 gallons of Glacier.
That's right. Hitting switches and there's
Yeah.
coming out of
That's
the
When the summertime, you hit the switch for the misters.
Yeah, exactly.
You get with the ladies through the
That's
fucking
right.
limbo.
That's right.
I don't know. I couldn't see them really eliminating or trying to eliminate what we do.
Okay.
I just don't. I don't think it's possible.
Okay. Well, on that
There's
nature,
just no way.
Okay,
and like,
so-
There's way too many of us, and we enjoy what we do.
yeah, and and it's when if we all had to band together, the mini truck guys, the hot
Yeah.
rod guys, the racers,
Yes.
all
Yeah.
that stuff. We had to band together. Man, they got hell coming.
oh,
You know what I
definitely.
mean?
I
Four
agree
wheel
on that.
drives, off road.
Oh, definitely.
Just car
Definitely.
guys in general, and it's like
Definitely.
there's no way, right?
Okay, how's this? Okay.
And then they know that. They
Okay,
do know
so with that nature, I've seen 2 gas stations around Arizona that sell race fuel. That you literally can go pump that bitch.
Yeah.
All right. So on that note, and I heard it's cheap as fuck too.
Well,
Yeah,
But
what's
it's
cheap
it,
for gas?
It's
well,
only $7 a
no.
gallon.
From what I heard, it's like 4 or 550 or 475 per a different whatever the density of race fuel is, because I know it's different from gas.
yeah.
So I know I know you can't
go.
go by gallon because it's way different of the
Yeah.
weight ratio. So from what I've seen at the gas station, because I pulled over because I was like, what the fuck? And it's 575, and the lowest that like they have the same thing like your medium and whatever, and the highest they have is like 675 or 680. You know, like, would you think that we can sit there and yes, okay, 10 a gallon, but there's other places where it's cheaper than that way.
But I think they only sell it in half-gallon increments.
Yes,
But
at the pump, from what I've seen at the pumps, dudes are only getting the gallon of like what when you would see lacquer thinner in the body shops way.
Yeah, that kind of-
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, so that's what I've seen them pumping it from the pump. So, but do you think that we would get to that where we're gonna, find another mode of fuel, or do you think that we're gonna go, okay, cool, we can sit there and find somebody to mix and make a different set of fuel that would run a vehicle without it?
I think
Yeah.
oil's too big.
What about shine? What do you feel if somebody could come up and was just at Tom's at what 989? Holy shit. Okay. So damn it. That's like fucking goddamn, it's like going to California and trying to pump gas at 7-Eleven.
Right.
On fucking
And use your credit card with your
yeah, with a fee of like another $10.
So there's been some stuff like I was kind of mentioning with the hydrogen. There's also some other kinds of pastes that are out there that I think it was Princeton came out with. You don't hear about it much anymore, but it's like a very large tube of caulk, and you put it in the in motor, whatever you want to call it, the tank.
Big
and
cock,
as it,
small cock.
yeah, it's just a big cock in there.
Got gas.
And you,
Speaking of cops, we got a guy. Told him I'd do the shut.
but
Yeah, there we go.
it's extremely safe to transport. It's non-flammable until you put water in it.
Oh, so it's pretty much it's a dry
It's like a cell.
it's a dry ingredient and it activates once it's wet.
It's this weird paste with magnesium, hydrogen
That
that's
sounds like a bomb.
compressed at a high temperature and just huge amount of pressure. But once it's in there, it starts the hydrogen process.
Oh, so pretty much it breaks down.
You're going to
into-
break it down and use it to create electricity based off that, and your byproduct is just water.
So okay.
So they have this available. What happened with it? You never know.
Okay, so on that, do you think that we can take something of what's of that nature and adapt it to what we're doing for the custom car industry?
Sure.
Do you think that we can sit there a few years from now? You're gonna see an electric mini truck. You're gonna see a fucking hydrogen. You're gonna see a fucking gas, and you're gonna see a truck driving on fucking biodiesel. Do you think we're gonna be able to sit there and see the evolution come to play? Or, by the time we see it, we're not even going to be around.
Everybody's unique, right? Everybody wants to be different. Everybody wants to build that vehicle that turns the heads.
Yeah.
And it's like, man, look at
Shiny primer.
Yeah, right? Who would have thought of that nonsense? Yeah, at the end of the day, I'm sure somebody will come up with something like that. Is it going to dominate that market? I don't
No.
believe it. I don't believe it.
not in our lifetime.
Yeah,
No,
at least not.
Maybe my kids or something, but not.
But-
But right
we
now,
might see a onesie twosie type of
but
thing.
not
Maybe a
heavy.
little trend, but
not
I don't
heavy.
think we're gonna. It's not gonna
Not a heavy
overload
tank,
the
okay.
scene where it's like.
Like, we're
Especially,
not changing our logo to electric minis. That-
Oh, fucking- I'm running on battery.
to be honest, I think a lot of it is that not in the United States,
Yeah.
particularly. You may have countries such as like Japan that have a denser population and a smaller footprint that'll be easier for them to transition over and have that acceptance of it. Whereas we're so, the United States of America is huge.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
people don't realize it that you need gasoline to be able to travel from one side to the other side.
Right.
And it's the most economical right now still, with the oil that we can get from Texas and everywhere
Yeah.
else. It's just it won't go away anytime
That's the
soon.
dependency on
Okay.
oil will never let.
Okay,
motors
do
go
you
away.
guys think
Not in our
that?
lifetime.
Okay, do you guys think that if gas gets high enough, we'll probably convert to biodiesel, right?
Well, that's been
Right.
around.
So
for a long
I'm gonna
time.
say I would if
My
gas got
brother-
high enough,
My little brother drove a biodiesel Mercedes.
right?
Because-
Okay, but do you think if gas got high enough, we would sit there and go, okay, cool, we'll go biodiesel because we can sit there and go to fucking Burger King and fucking siphon grease
I
off
mean,
those
maybe
motherfuckers.
if they let you.
Yep.
Maybe, but you know, I don't know.
I will point you if that ever happens. I'll point you in the direction of restaurants where you can get gas.
I don't know, maybe, but
What up,
you know,
Brandon?
like me, I budget for gas. If
Hey,
gas goes
right.
up, yeah,
Get back to working
I
on my
might not
truck.
be able to do something.
Ben said, "Hurry up and get back to work on a truck." That's what. As long as I can get, bitch. We know you're trying to go back to 1902 and fucking buy something. Jesus, Derek, no. Bucks and yeah, spam. You and your transformer vehicle that disappeared. Some people need to get away from a welder. I know. Like, all right. So there's another question. How do you feel on people that are building odd vehicles that are not? They used to look like something, and now they don't look like something, and now it used to look like something, and then you're just like, wow, dude, like, what are you trying to do? You know, how do you feel on that factor? Have you had to slap your mini truck companion or your homie and go, what are you doing?
Not enough
Like,
times.
get away from that plasma cup.
Right.
You know,
Put the welding
Garrett,
down.
have you had that?
What's the saying? Just because
Wait a minute, hold on.
You really calling him out right now?
No,
Just
no,
because
I'm
you
saying-
own a welder
no, because
doesn't
he
make
know-
you a welder.
Yeah.
Right?
He knows someone right now that he's just like, damn fool, you're gonna build that right now?
That's why I
No,
hide my plasma cup.
you know.
People come over the house.
Teach their own.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
You know, everybody likes their thing. If you
I'm-
want to do
I'm just
something wild,
I'm
go
just
for it.
teasing.
That's right.
I'm just teasing Corey. I'm just giving you shit.
but you know, it's you do something wild, it's cool. Whatever. You know,
And-
I'm not gonna knock somebody for their style.
Was he happy?
If,
Was
if it's cool,
Enjoying what he was doing?
I'll give me my 2 cents. You know, and we'll.
Only he can answer that question. I can't.
So let me ask you this: in your club, is there
There we go.
a not requirement, but are there things
there's
that
a
are
bit.
not allowed?
I'm
Because-
gonna tell like this. I live with Big D, and with Big D, it was like going to Mini Trucker University. So from negative camber rules are you do not fish off the family pier.
We only have like 3 rules, maybe.
Well, I know one of them is you do not fish off the
You
family
don't
pier.
fish off the family pier. That's definitely
Okay.
one of the rules. You know, one of the rules is it has to have adjustable suspension.
Yes.
Right.
That's a given.
And every few whatever months or whatever, you try to have one different mod,
Yeah, I mean,
Yes, and you try to hang
you know,
out
we
with
want to see
everybody.
people make progress,
and you try to hang out.
but we
you
also
have
want to be
hang out,
involved in helping everybody make the progress too.
and you need to hang out. If you don't hang out,
Hanging out, yeah.
and
But
you have to participate.
No,
You have to participate.
Ben
You
had
have
it all the time. What
We're
is
just-
this guy?
No, look, you have to participate, even if they don't ask you to participate. So if someone comes over and they're working on someone's truck and everyone's out there, you come out there, you hang out, you help as much as you can, even if they don't ask you to, and they'll look at that, and then that's how the more you hang out, but you have to bring something. You can't be a hang around. You have to hang out with and bring something at the same time.
yeah,
So they can look at that and go, okay, cool. You're hanging out, but you do have a vehicle, and this is what you got to do.
and when it
That's
comes down
just
to
from
it,
what I learned.
yeah, but we all have lives, we all have families, we all have things that going on. You know, I've been building my car for years, and I don't have a date when it's going to be done. Yeah, I'm always doing stuff to it, improving it, making
Does it
it
drive?
better. Oh yeah, it
Yeah.
drives.
Got AC?
No, not yet.
All
But
right.
you know, and then we do things like buy other cars to add on top of
Right,
that.
right.
Then we
Now,
get our old
Chrissy-
ladies' cars.
That's right.
You know,
Chrissy
so-
says, I'm late to the party. Oh, your old lady said, what's up with?
But you know, we don't. Once you're in our
No,
club,
that's
you're in.
I know,
Yeah.
that's what
But
I
are
said. Your
there
old
any
lady
styles
said,
that
what's up
are not frowned upon?
What up,
So
yo?
that, you're not right for
I
us.
know.
My wife's probably watching.
I mean, you can't get in without a truck. You have to have a
Okay.
truck.
Okay.
That's the number one thing.
Okay.
Whether full size or mini truck, that's how you get in. Yeah, there's been members that got in with cars there are exceptions that they make.
It's harder though, isn't it?
It's way harder.
It's
with a
way
car.
harder with a
Car's
car.
got to be on a whole nother
Yep.
level.
Right.
So
Um,
you have to at least you have to have paint. You have to have paint job, and you at least have to gone to total of 2 shows in state, 1 show out of state, and you have to be able to at least come around for a year and a half to 2 years to hang out, and then bring your car at the same time.
Yeah.
That's from what I know living with Big D.
and the car has to be on a whole nother level.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like I said, there's exceptions that have been made.
Yeah.
It doesn't happen super often.
Oh.
Like me, I don't own I own my daily driver, but it's not a show
Not a
truck.
show
I mean,
truck.
It's just a truck. But I don't own a truck anymore other than that. But yeah, well, you have to get in with the truck. There are the levels, it's got to be a show truck, if
Yeah.
not a cover truck, at least feature truck.
Like you said,
I know that's not so much a thing.
And see, he covered.
need
covered,
cover. Look on me.
But it's kind of to each their own too. When we don't say like, hey, you have to put billet wheels on your
Right.
truck, because if you want to build a cool truck, like we have one of our thing is it's got to be painted. But unless you have the intention of not painting it, my buddy Jeremy, who's in our club, he's got a dope C10 that's
Oh, but that's that's sick as
CTSV
patina.
drivetrain, portable
Yeah, but
chassis.
the patina on that
dude,
is badass though.
It's sick, but it's patina, which is
patina
not
is sick as
within
fuck.
our rules.
Technically,
But
right.
it's not like mismatched patina. It's the whole truck.
You got to see it
matches.
in
It's
person, way. Like
beautiful.
when you see this truck and you see like the subtle touches that he did with some of the parts and like the way the patina setup is on it, it's like, okay, is that real or is that like,
And-
like did you pull it out of someone's yard and that's what it looked like? Like
Yeah.
it's because when you can look at car shows, you can look at patina and you can see the difference of real patina compared to, okay, cool. Like my tank truck, I drove around with dents and whatnot. And, I would wipe it down, clean, like, well, it's all dented up and dirty and the paint's bad. I go, that's real patina. I go, I drive it every day. I go, the bugs, the paint chips, this is every day.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But guys don't go, okay, cool, we'll
Yeah.
spray that. They go, look, we'll fucking, but some patina, like his patina, it's hard to tell, dude, if it's real or fake.
It's real. It's real. The whole thing's real.
It looks sick as
But
fuck,
it's a
though,
sick
bro.
truck, so there are the exceptions. And he's a good. We look at people too.
Right.
If you're a good ass dude, you're gonna you have a good chance of getting in if you have something pretty cool. That's the big thing is clicking with everybody. You don't have to be best friends with everybody, but at least if you have you can sit at a table and hang out and not be that guy that's a jerk or
Right.
anything.
Yeah.
You're listening, right?
We spend a lot of time hanging out. When we
You
do
better
hang out,
listen,
taking some notes
but
here.
when we
Yeah.
hang out, that's how it is. But we don't really have rules. We don't have meetings. A meeting is technically if
Hanging
there's
out
2
with
or more people and you're having beers, that's a meeting.
Right.
You know what I mean? There could be 3 of us having a beer.
Penn does that a lot. Penn
Yeah.
has a lot of meetings.
We have a lot of meetings, and
And it's always
there's no
somebody
set
going to hang out
place,
with
right?
somebody,
But so we don't have all that, but it's all about the people.
So-
And
so-
there's a lot of guys that take steps back, and they don't. I would say take a step back. They're still moving forward in their lives, but they're taking a step back from the scene or
Sure.
building something.
And
That doesn't mean that they're not in the club.
Right.
And
And same thing with that.
And those
You
are
know.
guys like in every club. There are always people like that. Hey, life happened, family happened, and you take a step back. But at the same time, you're building something, and people are like, hey, fool, I heard, is he coming around? Oh no, like he had some shit went down, and and then everybody's like, oh shit, and then when you see him, he comes back, and you're like, damn, fool, where the fuck did that
And,
come from?
and
You're like,
you'll be, we'll set
You
something up, and someone will post, "Hey, we're working on this truck
Yep.
tonight at so and so's house. Come by." And you won't see somebody for a couple of years, and all of a
And
sudden
they'll
they
show
come, they
up.
see the post, and they're like, "Hey,
Shit.
I'm here to help." And it's like,
Um,
"Oh, you know."
fucking Jason, I can't pronounce his last name. Gunner's dad, Jason.
Whetstone.
Weston.
Yeah.
Weston. When he was working on his fucking Valiant or that word.
Yeah,
Yeah. It's like, I remember fucking going over there and fucking, he was like, hey man, I'm like, cool, I'll fucking go down there. And I remember we're setting the bump, trying to reset the front bumper, and they were welding something in the motor and fucking, they were moving some shit. He's like, yeah, I'll try. And then, a few months later, he's driving it around, and it's like, you'll see a text like that, when it's camera dudes, it's never like, me living with Big D was never like, hey, dude, we're gonna go do this. It's just like, hey, so and so needs help. We're gonna go roll by.
Yeah.
You know, so it's
But
like
we never be like it's a club thing.
yeah,
Sorry,
it
you can't
never
come.
was. Yeah,
You
yeah.
can't show
No,
up.
it was
Sorry,
never
it's
that.
club only.
And that's the thing, because I learned that firsthand, because D brought me around a lot of big club members, and you know, you and fucking Robbie and fucking. That's how we feel about Moses. Gone forever, then randomly shows up. Yes, I know.
It's called life. though.
Yeah, dude, we
Sure.
You
can't
got
help
kids,
it.
you got family, you got
Yeah.
job. You're trying. You know,
Exactly.
it's.
But the thing that's funny though, because I don't see you guys a lot, but when we see each other, it's like, hey man, you doing all right? You know, we get together. Like, I'm happy that I have the podcast, because if I don't see you guys, hey, I'll bring you on the fucking show. You know, come down. We're talking trucks, we're talking cars.
Bro, you lived like what 2 blocks from me for years, and the only time I saw you was driving. You know what I mean?
and
You
then
were right down the street.
remember when I was painting that one car, and I was painting that
Oh
yeah, and I was doing body work on a car down the street, and I was painting a dude's car for his daughter, like a Jetta or some kind of like old Infinity, like a fucking old gen, like an 80s or 90s gen, and I was painting, and this little fucking walks through, goes, "Is that you?" I was like, "What the fuck are you, dude? I live down the street," and I was shooting. I had the whole thing wrapped in plastic, and I'm just fucking going to town. Like, what are you doing? I'm like, somebody bailed on somebody else, and they needed somebody to paint the car for his kid, and he's trying to give it to his kid for graduation, and I stepped in and fucking get it done and get it gone.
Small room, huh?
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
Funny though.
you know, and it was funny, because when he shows, like, he goes, I swear to God. And he told me, he goes, I drove by 2 times, and I swear I thought it was you, but I didn't know if I should stop. And then when he came back, he goes, what the fuck are you doing? And I was like, what are you? He's like, I live up there. I'm like, dude, he goes, how do you, like, and you know, that's how it goes about, like, small world. Like, when you sit there and you realize it, hey, we all live fucking a few blocks away. How far do you guys live?
Shit, on the other side of the planet from
On the east side?
I live in Litchfield Park.
Jesus Christ, dude, I was born and raised in Surprise.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Johnny?
East Mesa,
East, how far East Mesa away?
like where all XL lives.
Oh,
Yeah.
oh, you're way out there.
Yeah.
I used to work at Local Legends, a bar out that way. So
Gotcha.
yeah, you're way out there.
Yeah.
What are you, Ben?
I'm on Rural and Chandler.
Oh, that's not that.
No, not from, but
It's like a
like,
distance.
they're
yeah.
all,
yeah.
everybody's like a
Yeah.
far
He's in
way
the
away
center
from
of
me.
both
I'm
of
like,
us, basically.
Yeah. And I'm basically
So
in
see, it's
East
like
LA.
funny. It's like
Yeah.
funny though, because after the show, I'm like, hey, wait, you want to come to the hospital? We're up the street. It's not far.
I can't go to anybody's
I-
house and hang out because otherwise I
You
can
gotta-
have to
you
crash
gotta-
there, man.
Right? You got to set a whole, like, I'm gonna set a day. You know, it's like a field trip.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
exactly
It's like a whole
that's what we do,
Yeah,
basically.
yeah.
Like for the 4th of July show, I'm probably gonna cruise out to his house.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's easier to get
morning,
to there if you're.
And just hang out over there, and then leave from there to the
Yeah.
show.
Yeah, depending on if Brandon gets my truck done or not.
Ah.
At least in primer.
Because I'm primer,
Yeah.
yeah, that's
Hey,
what I
shiny
think.
primer way. Go,
Hey,
go bring
yeah.
it back to 2000,
Let's do
2003.
Hey, you know what? It is a 2000s truck, so
There
it
you
would
go.
be just
You should
appropriate.
have went to
There
shiny
you go.
primer.
There
You know,
you
like,
go.
let's
That
do
SEMA
that.
gray. That
That's
SEMA
The
gray.
SEMA gray.
I don't like a lot of SEMA stuff.
No, well, I heard. So there was a body shop I worked at, and there was iceberg gray, concrete gray,
Yep.
and
Battleship gray.
battleship gray, and
Slate gray.
Slate. Yep.
Slate, yeah.
and then it was like iceberg something, and it was like a flat white, almost looked like a white primer. East side is the best side.
It is.
Still allowed to be up.
Ocean Leo, what up?
What I
He
like
was
about
on
the
the show.
east side too, though, is there's local minis, XL, and some other clubs. We all,
Some other clubs.
we all, I
Some
don't know what's out
Smother
there.
clubs? Are the
Well,
smother
there's-
clubs?
there's-
I never heard of a smother
Oh,
club.
different club.
Different clubs.
Different club, not
Right,
smother.
right. Not some others. But like NC guys, we'll all get together, meet up somewhere, and we'll all cruise out to go cruise.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's
You know?
the thing, a lot of people don't
And
like.
it was never that way before.
No, it wasn't. And it,
No.
like when I was coming up in the scene, and when I met Big D, I met Big D at a grocery store. You know, because he had a hat and a shirt that I had. And, hey, you know, so and so. It's like, yeah. You know, and then fucking like a year later, I ended up, you know, moving in with him. You know, but at the same time, it's like when it comes to mini trucking, it's so odd because everybody knows everybody in a small world. Even if you don't, it's like, hey, but you know, someone is like, yeah, and it's like,
I don't
You
know
know.
so and so. I know what they drive.
yes,
They- they-
and that's what,
Show me what he drive. Oh yeah.
Yeah,
I know that.
right, and that's
His
the way.
name's Jay.
that's the way everybody describes everybody. Everybody describes everybody in the miniature. It seems like, hey, you know, so
What they drive.
no, what does he drive?
Yeah.
Like he drives out, like you know, and that's always the thing. Everyone's like, do you know? I'm like, no. I go, first thing somebody goes, you know, I'm like, nope. I go, what's he driving? They're like, yeah, like, and
Oh,
soon as,
yeah, that's right.
I know that part.
Yeah, driveway all the
That's
time.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's funny though when you see that now, you're just like, I know what you drive, and then when they don't drive that no more, you're like, well, what
And
happened?
you can describe it to a T. That's the craziest part. Because yeah, you know, like boy, he's got that full size with the.
Yeah, and you're like,
And then
You
it's
said-
you're like, oh yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
I've been this-
That's what's weird. That's the only thing. It's like we're like the ladies with Tupperware. You know,
Yeah,
we
you're
have,
right.
you know, we're like, oh, I got the same one.
That's right.
But Leah, that's where who the. That's funny.
No,
That's funny.
One of the things you were saying is like not everybody does
That's a
that as
moment of
much as
silence.
far as getting out together. But dude, I remember, and this brings me way back, is everybody getting together over at Pool Plus in Mesa,
Oh, geez.
and then
that was
rolling.
a little
Like
bit
that's where I
before me,
met
though.
Little Kenny and everybody
That
else
was
like
a little
that.
bit
and
before me.
That was
a little bit before me.
old school times and hanging out, and we would all mob from there down to Kiwanis and.
I was gonna say Kiwanis, man.
Dude, Kiwanis
Kiwanis,
Park and
yeah.
then cruising.
And that
Mill.
sucks though. It's
Mill-
not even there anymore.
Mill Avenue, that was fun, man.
Dude, Mill's still there if you want.
No, yeah.
It's not the
if you wanna
same.
get-
It's
No.
not the same,
Yeah.
but it
If
ain't that
you
bad
drive
of a
the other way, if you drive the other way,
If you drive it north, it's fine.
if you drive the other way,
Southbound,
no.
it sucks.
It's just
But-
not the same.
but
It's
if
not
you-
No,
at
it's
all.
not.
Kiwanis
No.
Park was where it was at
Ah,
Yeah.
dude.
back
Yes.
in the day.
Cruising, I mean, before the
Central-
cops used to sit at the little desks in Mill Avenue and watch you
Yeah.
go back.
When I had my wagon,
Yeah.
the last show that I went to was the Art of Noise show at Kiwanis. That was the
Yeah.
last time I showed my wagon. I had
Yeah.
a 91 Caprice wagon.
All right, guys, we're gonna take a quick commercial break, and then we're gonna come back and we're gonna do controversial stories, and then we're gonna wrap it up, and we'll get everybody to get home, and we'll see what kind of dirty shit we could talk to after that. I know some of y'all been fucking in your trucks. We'll talk about that in a minute. You know, don't worry.
Hurry up,
It's
hurry
not
up.
like when Derek was on and he had to get a walker.
Oh,
Yeah, that's how it goes. Shit. All right, guys, it's 9 o'clock. It's controversial questions. We're already halfway through the night. Truck runs. A lot of nudity. How many, like, I know you guys got ladies, girlfriends or whatnot, old ladies, but how many truck runs that you know, I've seen a few, but you guys went to truck runs where it was like, you know,
So,
full
my
on
opinion-
Donkey
My
Kong, you know,
opinion, best
some
ever
wild shit.
is.
Did you meet any of your future girlfriends?
I will not disclose any of that,
Okay.
but
But you did.
Daytona Spring Break in
Mhm.
South Florida, and there's a picture. I think if you go on our Facebook, you can see them because the strip, right? You can you can cruise on the beach itself, which is one of the rare commodities of Daytona Beach. But the other
Shut
was the
the fuck
regular
up,
drag,
Dan.
and all the it's like Mardi Gras, So there was a lot of
everybody's
debauchery.
showing. Yeah, a lot of
going on.
debauchery. So do you think the truck runs have kind of softened?
Oh,
Absolutely.
Oh,
yeah.
It's
Yeah.
nowhere
Soft
like
it
it used to be.
It's not even
Hey,
close.
and I remember when I went to a Havasu show and there was the dude
Oh.
driving around in a 55 like Apache, and he had a stripper pole on that shit, and it was like, yo, they would drive around. And it was
The
just
black
like,
one?
Yes.
Good.
Yeah, and that bitch
He
fell off.
frequent, yeah.
She fell off halfway
Yeah.
through like one of the turns.
Oh, they've gotten way soft. I mean, dude, hazing and
Oh,
you know,
dude,
petitioners and all
yeah,
that stuff.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
Do you think the shit that we've seen, you know, the some of the fucking the weird ass hazing, you know, saran wrap and
Oh, yeah.
walking them through the whole fucking show and
on a dolly,
You know,
Yeah,
yeah.
those days.
ketchup,
There's-
mustard, mayo.
there's still
all
some-
that.
Yeah.
There's still some clubs that do
some
that
like
stuff,
food
but-
porn.
it's not like it was, but yeah,
No,
there's
not
still
even
some clubs
close.
that do that, but
Yeah.
it's
That-
nothing.
Yeah.
No.
Do you think it's gotten? Do you think the shit that we pulled, that everybody's pulled throughout mini trucking,
You
could
can't
be done
do it
now?
nowadays.
No.
Yeah.
Everybody's got one of these.
Then they got sensitive.
Yeah, dude, I
Back
remember-
when we were doing this, there was no evidence.
No, dude,
There's
I
no-
I remember seeing somebody saran wrap to a fucking office chair.
If you have it, yeah.
And they were
if you had a
fucking
picture,
Oh,
it
yeah.
They
was
were
from a
paraded
camera.
through,
Yes.
you know.
And
It's like,
disposable.
The disposable
Yeah,
camera.
yeah,
that's the
and
only-
it was
that's
a
the only
physical
evidence they had.
picture. Yeah.
Yeah.
There was no.
Yeah,
There
there
was
was
no.
nothing.
If
it was
you
out
did,
there.
yeah.
If the place that developed it would even let you pick up the
Right.
debauchery.
Yeah, I
Right,
remember
right.
that. That was always
They-
shitty as fuck.
Half of the time they wouldn't let you have them.
Oh no,
Yeah.
no. You tried to slip a guy at 20, you're like, come on, bro.
No.
Hook
You
it
know,
up.
yeah, just have
That's,
that.
that's stuff that was going on in the early 90s.
Right,
was-
right.
would
A lot-
never, ever.
I've heard from several mini truckers, several other mini truckers have said, if we had cameras back then, we would all be in jail.
Oh,
Oh, yeah, most
We
definitely.
would.
For
We,
sure.
you know, we vandalized so many things.
I mean, there's a reason why runs stopped.
Yeah.
Yes.
We weren't allowed
yes.
back at these places.
Well, oh
No.
yeah, and wait a minute. Some of the Denny's we were not allowed in.
Oh, yeah.
I remember there was a couple Denny's when we would go to LST.
Yeah.
They're like, oh, we can't go to that one anymore.
Between all the
Yes,
craziness
yeah,
and, you know,
saran wrap, fucking
the
yeah.
fights and the
Yeah.
Oh, definitely.
Well,
I
and
remember that
there-
picture.
There would almost
I've
always
seen that one
be
on
some
Facebook.
girl that dies of alcohol poisoning
Oh,
because everybody's
Near,
Yeah.
near death.
near
Yeah.
death or like the
Yeah.
hospital.
She showed her boobs and she.
I mean, kids these days can't even camp in tents.
No.
I know.
Like,
Right? Hey,
Bro,
remember
like,
remember
sleeping on
Four
a bed.
Locos when it was Four Locos.
Right.
You know, remember Mad Dog 20? Well, MD 20.
Oh,
You know,
Purple
remember? I
Passion.
remember.
Aftershock,
Oh shit! Dude, I remember going to one truck run.
Ghost Slumber.
I remember going to run truck run, and Johnny O'Neill and somebody else handed me a plastic handle of the fucking Walmart vodka, and they're like, "Hey, bro," and they hand, and I'm like, "Yeah." And Big D just looked at me and somebody else, and they're like, "Good luck getting rid of that." And I could not get rid of that for the fucking life of me throughout the rest of that night.
Yeah.
I watched Lumpy get a court case that night too, at that car show.
Yeah.
But he rocked that fool. He rocked that fool hard. Yeah, that's
Been
what
through a
you know.
few
You
of
fuck
those.
around and find out with Lumpy, and
Yeah.
yeah, you know.
You
No,
walk
I don't.
away with lumpy
Like
monkeys.
okay, so on that with truck runs and the fucking the debauchery and the violence.
And we're all older now.
Yeah,
so
yeah,
it's
you know,
like,
we're old men now.
We're
We all got, you
responsible.
know,
Yeah.
sure, my knee pops every
That's right.
two times. You know, it takes me 30 minutes to get out of bed, but
hazing somebody, I'm like, I'm not getting out of my
Oh,
chair.
yeah.
Y'all have
Oh,
fun.
that's-
we all have our chair. We all sit at the truck. We all sit at a show like this.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
No.
And then we just watch everything.
No, I don't feel like walking.
That's
I don't
right.
do it.
Yeah.
Purple Passion. Yes. Oh,
Yeah,
God,
geez.
dude. Holy shit. Some fucking
Everclear,
Purple Passion. Everclear.
in the 2-liter bottle. That's
Some fool would come away, with like a big old cooler full of jungle juice.
Yes.
And
I was
you
about to say that. All right. So, parties back in the day, when I remember when my older brothers, you guys are about my older brother's age, and Garrett's about like my age, like I'm as old as him. When I was growing up, were like, you could sardine can that bitch. You were sardining and you were like trying to make your way, and jungle juice was in someone's fucking kitchen sink or in a bathtub or in an ice chest, and you were scooping shit out.
Yeah.
And then you're like trying to make your way to wherever you were at.
There's none of that.
Like,
There's
Out of
none
them
of
all.
Well,
There's none
not
of
for us. I'm
Well,
sure there's
sure.
some for us, but I don't think they're doing it like we did back then.
I mean, don't even go that extreme. When's the last time you saw anybody drink out of a water hose outside? Right? But we did that. I mean, that was
I
just.
still do.
I still
Right?
do.
I still
Like, that's
do.
just-
Not in the summertime.
But-
No,
Yeah.
fuck no.
No.
You burn your mouth that way.
Yeah.
But I
mean,
still
kids,
I still do it.
you tell a kid today, like, what do you mean you're thirsty? Just go right there. And they look at you like you're crazy.
Yeah.
But
Let
that
it
was
run
normal.
before you take a drink.
Yeah.
Right. Yes.
Let it
Because
cool
it's too
off
hot.
for a minute.
But
Motherfucker, I remember
know-
what was it when the pandemic, and they're like, oh my god, water. Motherfucker, I went out and I fucking took those, the stupid what you put in the machine, the big old 5-gallon. I was out there filling it with the hose and like putting it back, and they're like, my roommate was like, damn fool, where'd you get all of them? I'm like, I don't know.
But
Yeah,
think about
you
it, like the parties and the runs and everything. We were all so much younger. And,
Oh,
and having
definitely,
a good
you
time
definitely.
at that. I don't see a whole lot of young bucks coming up
No.
Okay.
that are doing the same things that we were doing.
And that's a good point. So, and I was joking, right? But
Yeah.
They like the desert stuff.
That's my kids'
They
strike.
do.
Right?
They do.
Motherfucker. Okay, so on that note, Johnny, you have a 90s third gen
90, 96.
96 S10. That's a third. To me, that's a second gen.
Yeah.
I always thought that was a third gen because of rounded.
That's
People
102.
call the
Well, I thought it was because the first gen was like
88
and
the
then
square bodies. is
and then the
first gen.
second gen went to like I thought it was like that's where it started from.
So there's always a kind of little
Yeah.
thing that people go like the 98 plus is a third gen of the S10.
No,
but
that
it's
would be
not.
a fourth for me.
I don't know.
Like because like I think of the square body like your first, and then yours would be like a second, and then like what you would have would be like a third because yours would be like declared almost like a stream because your body panels would be you can probably go off of an extreme body like an extreme truck, and then your panels would kind of fit with that, which would yours would only match like a couple pieces of his truck.
Well, everything but the grill.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
the
the
fenders,
grill.
everything's like pretty much the
Everything.
same.
Well, the grill would fit if he uses your fenders and that.
Well, you would have to take the whole grill.
and the
thing.
course, yeah, with the course support. and all
Yeah,
that
that's the
fit.
only thing.
Yeah.
You see, like all the other ones from that point on, from 97 up,
So
Right.
is interchangeable.
oh, okay. So that would still
Except for
be
the
considered,
Isuzu. Can't
so
use
that would
it
still be
on-
considered like a second gen.
There's still a second gen.
Still a second gen.
Second gen.
Wow, I always considered that would be a third, like a second, and then yours would be a third.
It's
gen.
more
That's
like they did
what
a facelift.
It's a
Right.
You know,
It's that's the
It's
thing.
more
It's
like a
okay, like,
facelift.
it changed when like the
Because his
95
was- yeah.
to like
I have the
97.
square lights instead of
Because
the
it-
big light or the bar lights.
And the
but
dash
but
and
his
the
bolt
interior.
pattern still matches with the square gen.
Everything's the same.
Everything's the same.
Everything
the
else
same
underneath
one,
of it
okay.
is all exact same.
Oh shit! I always
So-
thought it differed from the way the front panels, and then you can
His
only
his
go-
radiator support's just slightly different,
Okay.
because of the
Yeah,
headlights and
yeah.
all that stuff. But
Yeah.
everything underpinnings wise, it's all the
Okay.
exact same
Oh
stuff.
wow,
So
that's something.
it makes it nice because you can change whatever you
Oh,
want.
yeah, definitely. That's like when Toyotas and Nissans were all the way until like 98 or 99, and then after that you had
The
to
Tacoma
change them
came
all.
out, yeah.
Yeah, Toyota.
Well, then that's same thing. Then it went to the Colorado
Yeah.
Canyon. Like it's a different truck.
Yeah.
So
So it's
Anyway.
9. Controversial question for me for Reed Wood Garrett. You guys are what I consider would be an elite club. You Sever Ties, Relaxed Atmosphere, Sunset, a lot of the OG clubs, local minis. But local minis, I think of like when I heard it, I was thinking of California. you know, because they have new minis and they have a local minis also, I believe, you know. So what I look at is like being in an elite club, and then you got these guys from Florida. How do you consider being a higher club? Do you feel like you guys are paving the way for like old, like they're from the 90s, you guys from the 90s? Are you guys paving the way for newer mini truckers? Are you trying to keep the same, you know, the same things that are going on? Are you trying to keep the same nostalgia? Or are you guys trying to be like, all right, guys, we gave you guys we're paving the way for you guys to build something completely different, you know? Or do you guys hope that we continue on building, you know, the same 80s, 90s style builds, but just coming up with better, you know, frames, better, you know, different items?
Honestly, I think whatever you want to build, man. Honestly, it's cool. I like the old stuff. Everybody likes the old stuff. We like the old mini trucks and all that. And obviously, we're a mini truck club, so yeah, I want to see them. But the new stuff's cool too. And if whatever a kid wants to build, if they want to be in the scene, great. If they're in a smaller club, cool. Show up. Let's build numbers. Let's, you know, bring it on. If they want to be in a small club and try to get into a club like one of our clubs, great, even better. You know, when I was that kid, right, in a small club with 10 people in it, and we go cruise and have fun and do whatever. I wanted to be in NC or Sever Ties or something like that. That was my goal. Like, I want to get in a club like this. And if I see a kid that's wanting to do that, yeah, dude, like, bring it on. And
now
whatever you're building's cool. Obviously, it's got to be a truck, but hey.
And now that you are, you know, you're NC, you guys are local minis, what do you feel is being what you feel that you can pass down other than the knowledge, other than customizing? Because a lot of stuff is disappearing. A lot of work is lost art. You know, I worked for Phoenix Rack and Axle. I was a CV guy. You know what I mean? TriStar, the place on 67th and Glendale where you would take your alternators is gone now. You know, so like I'm trying to watch videos on how to rebuild a starter and alternator. Do you feel that the lost art of rebuilding automotive, rebuilding vehicles, rebuilding anything of that nature is disappearing? Or do you think at some point there's going to be a kid who wants to learn it?
Well,
I think there are kids that want to learn it. It's our job to instill that in them if they have the interest. You know, I've got some boys, and I want my boys to be car guys, but I can't make them be car guys. But if they want to be, I want to teach them everything that they need to know. But I also want to teach the kids camaraderie. You know, like, we're two different clubs and we're sitting here hanging out, having a good time. That's what I like.
That's what I was
like,
going to say.
We don't have to be the same club.
That's what I was going to say. Like you were saying, you can build whatever you want.
Yeah.
As long as you're happy with it. But the other thing too is coming up as being respectful of clubs and going to these shows and not being an ass, you know, and causing the place to get shut down because
somebody wanted to do something.
Donuts,
like what happened to Lone Star.
Yeah,
that was
exactly.
With the tennis ball. With the tennis ball.
Well, no, with takeover. It had nothing to do with Lone Star.
I thought it was because when that one fool fucking smashed in the fucking.
That was just an accident.
Yeah.
But no, like, yeah, exactly. You know,
but Lone Star, they tried to do that takeover crap, and that had nothing to do with Lone Star. But Lone Star suffered because of it.
Yeah. And we're the type of people that don't. We've been there and done that. We've shut places down. We've gotten kicked out of places. And granted, we'll probably still get kicked out of places in the future.
Right.
We all know who we are.
Yes, definitely.
But
I agree with you.
Right? You know some of my friends.
Yeah, I know some.
but you know, it's just the respect thing. Like, if you're going to be in a club, cool. Have respect for all the other guys. Respect the spot. The lowrider guys do that all the time, and I love that when I go out there and, you know, you'll see guys walking past and they're like, hey, respect the spot. You know, pick up trash. Put your part in.
Because I've seen a few dudes where they're, you know, like, I'll fucking take my shit and I'll have a paper bag with me and I'll walk around and go, hey man, you got trash? You know, and they're like, what? And I go, you have trash, bro, because we don't want to fucking fuck it up.
Well, and until these the younger kids and stuff, you know, it takes a lot of work to put on a show. It takes a lot of time.
It's a headache.
There's a lot of investment with a lot of people, and there's a lot of things to put on a show. and you
The venue?
when we leave there or whoever leaves there, we want to be able to come back,
Oh, definitely.
right?
Definitely.
And you get kids or clubs that come out and disrespect and they cause all this scene,
Yeah, I know.
make problems.
Yep.
All the guys like us that have put this stuff together for years and years, it makes us not even want you around, which is opposite of what we want.
Right.
We
Right.
want
We
you guys
want
to
you
be
to
around.
come around, but not fucking
Right?
be that dumbass and litter and fucking throw
Just
your shit
have
on the floor.
respect.
Like,
Dude,
if you brought your own drinks, fucking keep them in your box.
yeah, just
You know what I mean?
have
Like, keep 'em in
respect.
your
Have
shit.
respect for people. Have
Yeah.
respect for people's ladies and
Yeah.
stuff like that.
Yeah, don't be fucking
it's just
stupid.
it's just
Yeah.
the simple stuff
But
that
we've seen.
it's our job
yeah.
to teach the youngsters
Yeah.
that as long as they're receptive. But
Yeah.
we got a whole different age of kids, a whole different style of kids coming up these days, and
And they
it's
they
our job to
show them what it is
invite them, but correct them.
and show them the ropes.
Yeah.
Of what
Teach them what's going on. We're not going to be able to haze them like we used to.
Oh,
But,
fuck.
you know,
I would kill to haze them like we used to.
I would too, but it's just I'm a big respect thing.
Yeah.
I have respect for all these guys and everybody
And it's crazy
that's in the
because
scene. And but the second you're disrespectful, it's like you don't go build an off-road truck or
Right.
something.
Go hang out in the desert
Yeah.
Yeah.
This isn't for
where
you.
you can do whatever
Yeah.
you want.
Derek went freaks on the last rally there. Our first Friday, we got chased out. It was like the old days trying to find a place to skateboard.
Yep.
Right.
And that's it. Yeah.
And a lot of people don't realize, like, we're at the age now that, like, fuck, dude, we're in our 40s. I just turned 40, and it's just like now I'm just like I don't got time to deal with fucking.
Right.
Yeah. Well,
We don't got the time to deal with fucking.
well, like we said before,
with
too,
some, yeah.
we're building trucks and cars and stuff that are on a whole nother level.
And we want to go
don't
cruise and
want
have
the
a
shit.
good time.
You
Right.
don't want the
I want to go hang out with people I haven't seen for
Yeah,
20
right.
years.
Yeah,
And we
yeah.
want,
I want to roll up
we
and
want
like,
our
hey, how the
stuff
fuck you been?
respected.
You know?
Yes.
You might not have what we have, but we just want it respected.
Yeah.
And
We
if
just
you
don't
cross
want
that
that.
line, we're going to show you what respect
And it
is
sucks
real quick.
because we've had that happen when we lost Central.
Exactly.
We lost Central, and that was a big thing because every time, every year it came around, we would all go cruise Central, and they had the big show, and then all of a sudden somebody got stupid, and then all of a sudden the coordinator of the show got retarded, and some dumb shit happened, and then boom, Central's gone.
Well, and
Yeah.
like
And now you can't even cruise it.
Fuck no.
Yeah.
The light rail is.
Yep,
You
Done.
can't
right,
cruise it,
right in the middle.
but you
No,
can't cruise
smack
it. That's the same thing with the
Well,
low
now you
riders
can
in
cruise
Glendale.
anywhere.
Right.
So anywhere so cruising laws are gone now.
Oh, yeah.
Especially for Phoenix and Mesa. I'm not too sure about
Hey,
10 people.
To me, cruising is this: I get in my car in the morning, I go to work, and I cruise my way to work. I get out of work, I go cruise my way home.
Well, that was
If I was in
go-
my Mini, I'm gonna take the long way home.
Right. So I go to Jackson.
Oh, yeah.
Glendale's too far.
yeah.
I mean, Glendale's cool and all, but that's too far.
Yeah.
You know where you need the cruiseway is remember where the old Fiesta Mall was?
Yeah.
There's a place called Endgame there. It's like an arcade place.
Right.
The mall's gone,
Yeah.
Right.
but
right.
that whole strip is still there.
Yeah.
And
So
it's tight though because like you
Friday
don't see the
nights.
mall. Yeah.
Friday nights they do that with I can't remember who else is with it, but Flipside is there too. And then Saturday nights
Yeah,
it's on,
Marco, someone does get shot, but not all the time.
it's on
Yeah,
Dobson
that's
and Broadway is another one
Oh, yeah.
on Saturday nights, and that one's also Flipside too.
Yeah.
And
I-
we
I
just
live-
go there to hang out in the parking lot.
I live
Yeah.
like on the north side of town. Growing up, dude, cruising Bell Road was like my favorite
Fuck
thing.
yeah,
bro. From
43rd,
end to end.
Romero's.
I would go from end to end as far as Bell Road would go. And I would just go
Yep.
2 or 3 times a night. And there'd be, 10 of us just cruising. And we'd stop and get something to eat, hang out for a bit, and then cruise. And
Oh
then-
yeah, our thing was we would go.
I want that to come back at
Oh,
some
dude,
point.
it does.
because-
Yeah. We would go when I lived in Surprise. We would come from Surprise and Cottonwood and Greasewood. We would hit the liquor store at Bubba's, get on Bell and come up Bell, and then we would cruise all the way to Romero's, park at Romero's, chill for a little bit, get a burrito or whatnot, and then go cruise all the way to the 51, and then turn around and come back. And then if you want to go farther to Scottsdale, you would meet up at the McDonald's on Frank Lloyd Wright
Yeah.
by Twin Peaks, and you would go chill there for a
Yeah.
while and fucking
But remember, like, you could go sit at
Oh, yeah,
Romero's and
yeah,
all night
yeah,
long. There
yeah,
were
and the
people
parking lot
cruising,
was
dude.
packed to people, dude.
Yeah.
Euros, minis,
And,
pickups.
and it was like you would go there and you'd see all your
Hell
friends.
yeah.
Hey, let's
Yeah,
go
yeah.
cruise.
When
like
I
I
used
used
to
to run into Tracy and it's
Oh.
like, Tracy, let's go.
I used to laugh
we
when
would
I
all
would
just
go out there.
You know,
I
everybody
used to
would
go out
cruise.
there with my Civic, my little hatchback, and I would bump into some people I knew, and then I would see like the dudes with the Dodge Neons. I would sit there and rev it in the parking lot, and then
You're always gonna have
yeah,
that.
and then all of a sudden you hear the bat bat. They would backfire, and then you would be like, me and my friend would sit there and be like, I bet you $5 none of those bitches are gonna start. None of them are gonna start. And you're like, what do you mean? I go, watch. I go, and you would hear one, and you're like, that's what you get, motherfucker. Sitting there for 30 minutes to watch your fucking stupid exhaust go cherry red.
See, and that's what I like about this market out here, because I'd lived here 10 years before I met Johnny or you.
Yeah.
And I swore that there was no scene here. People would call me from South Florida, and that's why I ended up selling my one truck. Because I was like, man, I don't hear shows, I don't hear anything, and it wasn't.
We were hiding like Mexicans in
I
Wyoming.
guess they thought I was like me.
It was Friday night,
Yeah.
and you had to wait until the Friday night came, and everybody comes out.
Man, then I
But oh man,
I go to one show and meet a few people, and I was like, holy shit, there's a huge scene here.
Yeah.
Because in South Florida, it was dead. Like you guys talk about all the cruising. South Florida, unfortunately, we used to go to the beach, right? If you think of South Beach, everybody hears about Miami,
Fort Lauderdale.
yeah, and all that stuff. And that's where you would go cruising. You would go cruise the beach, and then eventually they put up cruising laws. So if a cop saw you 2 times, he could ticket you.
Right.
So
That was
you
Mill.
passed the
That was
cop,
Mill, and then no, wait a minute. Where Cano Park was,
Yeah.
where Cano Park was,
yeah.
here, wherever, can't remember, can't fucking think of the fucking road. Wherever Cano Park was, if a cop saw you go twice or 3 times and you didn't go into the park, then they would fucking stop.
yeah, and so it killed the scene out there.
Yeah.
And then all the shows started moving further and further north, and because we had big shows. I mean, we still have Lowrider Miami, which is the
Yeah.
huge show. But other than that, everything
Oh,
else
no.
pulled out and left because
Same
it
here,
killed the
Wade.
scene.
When the laws started going into effect with the cruising laws, every time a lowrider show came out and you were on 35th Ave and Camelback from Econo or 35th Ave and Indian, anywhere around the avenues around that area, you had the giant the construction guy would pull out the fucking machine with a big old sign, no cruising. No, and you were just like, but no matter what, you were still back to back in traffic coming down 35th Ave or 43rd Ave or somewhere on Camelback or in Cano, by Cano Park, and you're bumper to bumper with other fucking trucks and lowriders, and you're just sitting there going, watching girls get their ass slapped, and somebody's fucking hitting switches and you're slamming your truck 3 times.
Yep.
You can hear the compressors going, and you're just like, yeah, and there's a big old sign blinking, no cruising, no cruising, and we're all waiting in line. And there's Phoenix PD just looking at everybody going, yeah.
Yeah, you guys definitely have a lot more shows out here than what we had.
Oh, it is.
left.
We have seasons,
Yeah.
show season.
Show
season. Right now, this is our winter time.
Right.
Summertime is our winter time, so our trucks go in hibernation. We work on our shit,
I get that call.
At night.
They come out.
At night.
I'm like, it's still hot.
Yeah, at night. That's what I said. We all work on our shit at night.
My shit don't have AC, bro.
Exactly.
Oh, wait.
I drove by the police station. Oh, dead heat.
I'll come, but I'm just bringing my
Garrett,
delivery.
hey, we'll get Mike to get a hold of some of the lowrider guys, and we'll get you the air conditioning.
Oh, yeah.
Like
Yeah.
on the bombs?
Bro,
On
yeah.
the bombas?
I wanted to
On
get
the
one, but
bombas?
the problem is with the chop, I won't. It'll take up my whole window.
Oh, that'd be sick though, dude. You get the little
if they're as tall as my window is,
You better get vintage air.
I'm gonna do something. Don't worry.
That's just tight though. Like, because your car and your guys' trucks, and you got, that's your child, your kid's truck. Sure it is.
Yeah. I haven't seen it once.
And they all have their license, right?
I just heard about it.
I know, right? Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. His kid ain't even walked yet. That's dad's car. Yeah. He'll put him in there and jump around. He's like, all right, cool, that's it.
That's right, get out.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. I'll show you how to drive on my lap.
That's right.
They probably put more miles on my car with it sitting in the garage than I have. They're in there all the time driving. Like,
Yeah.
we're going to McDonald's. I hear the tires on the floor. They're driving.
You sit there and you go, man, dude, I remember doing that on my dad's car. Where are you guys going this year? And
Exactly.
Imagination will never run away from a child.
No.
Because our imagination never ran away from us. The only difference is our Hot Wheels and our model cars
And
and all them are bigger. You know, and now we sat there and go, dude, these plastic parts were a lot cheaper because I can go to my friend's house and go, can I have your plastic parts? You know, for my Impala. You know, and now we're like, do you have any parts that'll fit this truck? No. All right, cool. And then you know, now it's like our model cars got bigger, and now we're trying to find people who have the same model car that we got.
It's tough.
Yeah.
You don't see as many kids in the game like we used to. Because even my kid, when we built this truck, it was his desire to have that.
But are you pushing it like other parents
So-
do with sports and whatnot?
No, I never did. I wanted to disown him. No bullshit. Because
All right.
he wanted a lifted truck, and I'm like, where did I go wrong? Like all the stuff.
No, it does weigh. It goes up.
Like
It goes up,
I literally
you
brought
put nuts,
from the
and then you
hospital
drop it. It
in
drags
the
it.
airbag truck.
It lifts itself.
Yeah, like, see, it goes up.
And then when he was turning
What's that?
15, I think when he was talking about getting his temp license or whatever, he was like, Dad, I want to build a truck like you did. And I was like, oh man, that's a money pit. Why do you want to? No, seriously, I want to build it. I want to build it. And then it turned into that was the project. I found the truck, and then he did a lot of the work himself on the truck. And when he took it to high school, it was like the talk of the school because nobody else was into it. That's the weird.
See,
part.
that's okay. So when I was growing up, and when in senior year, I drove my mom's Grand Marquis for junior and senior year, and then I ended up driving.
That's when I learned how to drive in.
So I ended up driving. When I bought my Nova, I ended up driving my Nova at the end of senior year. My homie Ronaldo had a '70s style Ford Ranger F-150, and that was bagged on I-beams. And then our homie, who was like, we all had the homie that was a one-upper.
Mhm.
Hey, you got that, but hey, mine's.
Yeah.
So we had a guy named Andy Huffman, and him and Ronaldo would always fucking compete. So Ronaldo had the Ford. Andy came out. Well, my dad gave me a fucking 55 Apache with a fucking blown motor and a supercharger. All right, but motherfucker didn't know how to drive it. Why? Because the first time we drove it to school, took it into the ditch.
Oh.
So Dysart Road back then, when I was in high school, there was fields and you had a ditch. So you would come into Dysart and you would come into the first parking lot of the ditch right here. Motherfucker want to go like gunned it and trying to turn it, like trying to drift. Fucking got swirly and he wound up going, instead of going like this, he went into the ditch.
Oh.
Yeah. You know, but it was funny though, because when those trucks, when he had that and I was driving my Nova and I'm just like, you know, shit, you know, people were like, oh, what the fuck? Like, kids were like, oh my God. You're like, yeah, it was a wow factor for them. The shit that we drove was a wow factor when we were growing up.
I still see that in the kids, but
Yeah, but
As
it's
far as
not
them
as big
getting
as what it
into
is,
it,
Wade.
as far as them getting into it, that's about it.
Some
Yeah,
people
that's
don't want to
cool.
drive. Some kids don't even
Yeah.
want to drive.
Right.
No,
A lot of my son's
they
friends
want
are
to take
like,
an Uber.
We'll just Uber.
They're like, I'll
Like,
Uber.
you don't want your license. Like, I wanted nothing
Like,
more than
Get my
Right,
license. And
that's
get,
it.
I didn't care what kind of car I had.
Okay.
I just
Okay.
wanted to
My
drive.
license.
All right.
I
So
wanted to
my
drive.
dad, and I know as well as your dad said this: get a car. Girls like a guy with a car. You get a car, you fix it, and yeah, that's gonna, you know, people you want to go cruise.
You were the cool
Get a
kid,
car.
yeah.
Girls like guys with cars. Anybody likes a person with a car because no one's gonna wait for you at a bus stop.
No.
Yeah.
So, you know, when I was growing up, my dad goes, yeah, you know, I bought the Nova. My dad laughed at me when we towed it for $600, and then I fucking worked on it, drove it, sold it. Yeah, you know, we all have that addiction. You know, we all have that fucking drive to fix a car because we took a car from garbage.
It's
a car
I
that
think
sat
it's a
in the field.
personal expression.
Yeah.
Right?
It is.
You know, that's why everybody's is different. Everybody's, you know, looks.
Yeah, but
and
we
stuff,
didn't
but
fall
it's like
into
your
the norm.
personal-
We didn't fall
We
into
didn't-
the
yeah.
norm.
Because
Why do you
Definitely
want to be
didn't fall.
It
normal?
was your personal expression, and they're all cool
Stock
in their own
sucks.
right.
Can we agree stock sucks?
Yeah.
Can I get a high five?
Yeah.
Air high five. All right. From now on, stock sucks. Remember that. You want to drive a car with stock fucking everything, cool, go for it.
I've never owned a car. that
I
was
never
stock,
have. Yeah.
ever.
Not for very long.
It was
Oh,
longest
well-
I've had a stock car was like 2
Well,
weeks.
okay. My
But I was
name-
waiting for my wheels.
Everybody, we're all waiting for like.
Yeah.
No,
Oh,
it's
yeah.
like
UPS
right
is
now.
holding you up. That's what's
Yep.
holding you up.
Yep, it's like when fucking me and him are doing the trade on the motor, and when we're talking about, you know, hey, while you're at it, you're
Might as
already
well.
there, might as well.
Yeah.
So like, Kevin from Just Plain Trick. I'm picking up some wheels from him. And I'm getting the motor from him, and I told my roommate, I go, well, since I'm already getting the fucking motor, might as well fucking blow the whole truck apart and fucking, do it now. Do it.
That's a nice sticker you need on your back windows. Might as well.
Might as well.
Might as well.
Shit.
That's the thing, though. Like, we all been that might as well. We all been there, like, might as well.
That's how all the projects start, right?
Wait a minute. Hold on. How can I put it? We all been to that point where, like, should I take it apart?
Right.
Should I not take it
Did
apart?
you see what Derek just said?
I know. No. Well, what did he say?
He's over his hard buddy.
He's over. No. How is Derek over his hard body?
Because there's no motor in it
He
yet.
took it all apart.
I know, but that thing it blew up later. That's why he's fixing it.
Well,
That's why he's getting him another motor.
might as well fix it.
Might as well.
Might as well.
You might as well body drop it and finish bagging the whole thing.
Might as well.
Might as well.
Yeah, might as well shade it,
wire
might as
cut
well,
it,
you
might
know.
as well.
Make it
Might
a
as
fucking
well.
right-hand drive. Talk to what's his name?
Hey, the more you take
Right-hand
the powder
drive.
coat, the cheaper it is.
Right.
That's right.
Same with Chrome. Yeah.
I like that. Well, powder coat. Yeah, well, that's true. It's always costs a lot cheaper when you have a bundle.
Right.
It's like being an automotive guy. We go to a swap meet, we're picking at some shit. We know we're gonna go.
You're gonna
Hey,
work a deal, yeah.
yeah, like, hey man, how about if I go all these in a bundle? I'll give you this.
I'll
much.
buy shit that I don't even want.
And in a bundle, and that's
Cheaper.
because you wanted
Yeah.
that one piece.
Yeah.
And that's what's funny though, because like a lot of people are like, no, fuck no, dude. I'm gonna fucking if we're gonna go to a swap meet, give me the bundle.
Yeah.
Give me the fucking bundle.
I know you don't want to take it
Yeah.
home with you, so
Yeah, I know you don't. You're here like I'm here to buy it. You got drugs, I got money, you got parts I need.
That's right.
I'm that kind of automotive fiend.
Yeah.
That's the point, like where everybody realizes, like, no matter what, we build things that we don't want to be normal. Controversial question. Pretty much everybody goes, well, why would you do that? Why do you want to fucking
'Cause I can.
buy a vehicle?
Yeah.
You know what the Australian guys goes? He goes like this. Corey, when are you coming on, asshole? Hey, at least.
Yeah.
only Corey would go with the.
I love that guy, Corey.
He's fucking dude. That dude's. I'm happy he's building a money truck.
me too.
Finally,
Me too.
right?
Me too.
How long have we?
We
known
talk
you?
every day. We literally talk. Every day.
I've known you for I don't know how long since when I lived with Big D and I got to meet you, and I've known Garrett for a very long time, and it just makes me laugh because I've known Corey for a long time also, and it's just funny though because when you meet people and you make friends with them, and then you like, damn, we've done some fucked up shit. We partied and done some dirty shit where we woke up and go,
What happened last night?
yeah. Dude, I partied with some Severn dudes, and I remember one time there was a Severn in the Southwest or something, and I woke up. I was partying somewhere with Ryan. Ryan with the old Magnum that he had. Fucking Brian Nelson.
Oh, Nelson.
Yeah, Nelson. So I was partying with him, and then there was a show, and when he lived on 31st Street, somehow Miles used to live like a few blocks away, and I ended up waking up one night drunk as fuck, and Miles goes, come on, we gotta go. The show's gonna start, and it was like 7 in the morning. I'm sitting passed out on some couch, and I wake up, and it's like somewhere on fucking Michigan Avenue, like 31st Street in Union. I'm just like, the fuck did I end up here? And it's like, Ryan Nelson's house was like the party house back in the day. I remember one time we went there and partied. Somebody's truck caught on the yard.
Yeah.
Some neighbor's truck caught on fire, and everyone was like, "Dude, someone's truck's on fire!" And everyone's like, "No one fucking turned a fucking bat." Everyone's like, still partying, hanging out, and somebody goes, "Hey, dude, it's fucking someone's truck's on fire." And then somebody goes, "Hey, someone's mini," and everybody fucking like, "Ah!" And then it was like the neighbor or somebody's yard truck or some shit, right? That caught fire. And everyone's like, all right, cool. They let it burn, and we all walk back inside and start partying. Like, I remember, like, it was, dude, his house was shit, dude. Like, damn, dude, that was some fucking, you talk about mini truck videos that came out of that fucking house? Fuck, dude, Ryan Nelson was the shit, dude. Him and the 300, when he used to make me laugh, he would tell you straight out, he goes, I was partying one night. I remember one time, I was like, hey, dude, you left the party. He goes, yeah, I got home, but my car was at my neighbor's. And I was like, what? He goes, yeah. He was like, I don't know, but I parked it over there. I was like, what the fuck? And his story would always be like, you would like, hey, dude, you went and party. Like, we would all party. Like, you took off. He goes, yeah. And his story would always start off with, I got home, but my car's like 2 streets over, or 1 street over, or across the street, or fuck. And you're like, do your neighbors just like wake up and go, all right, there's a 300 laid out?
Yeah. He was always one step.
Yeah.
He had his Frontier, that blue Frontier.
Oh, dude, that was fucking
beautiful truck. At the same time, I had my Frontier. I couldn't touch that truck. That thing is gorgeous. Then he got rid of it, and then he bought the 300.
That was.
I bought a black 300, not knowing that he had a black 300.
You know how many CV axles that dude broke?
Yeah, I know. And then he built it, and I'm like, I can't even compete. Like, mine's not even going to come close to that.
Dude, that thing was fucking
It's
retarded.
a beautiful car. Yeah,
But remember,
he's so
like I
talented
said,
too.
yeah,
He's
like
very
I said,
talented.
it's ahead of its time.
Yeah.
At that time, doing hydraulics on the 300 was something we didn't even think about. You know
Well,
what I mean?
no, because Richard Ranchi did his.
Oh yeah, yes, Rich Arachi,
Shout
shout out to Rich Arachi and his Isuzu
Soup
and the
Kitchen. They'll
Soup
laugh at this
Kitchen,
one.
the fucking the Animal Whisperer.
Yeah.
Like, dude, that dude is.
That was an iconic car too.
Yes, it was. What?
That green 300
Yes, it
chop.
Didn't he just get that back?
He just got.
Yeah, he did. And dude,
That's why I say.
yeah,
Soup
but you know what's
Kitchen.
weird though? Fucking like when he got it back, he goes, I didn't know that somebody else had it, and they just had it sitting.
Yeah,
Like
in
it was
Texas,
sitting
I
in
think.
somebody like another
Yeah,
club
it was
member's
somewhere
garage or
over
some
there.
dumb shit.
And I think the place caught on fire.
Yep.
And there wasn't like damage to the car, but smoke damage and stuff.
Yeah, and that was it,
He
like,
just got it
yeah.
back.
And it was like, it's
I think he's gonna rebuild it. So I
and,
can't wait to see it.
and it's crazy because like on that notion, like Soup Kitchen. Shut up, Corey. You don't want to even come on the show. Ass. Yeah. I want to bring him on the show and talk about his Toyota. Yeah. Fucking him and Kobe Cheese. Kobe Cheese. Love you, Kobe Cheese. She's fucking awesome, dude. Fucking I remember her when fucking her and Big D would go to car shows and go party. And fucking I was like, what do you guys look? Like, she drives. I don't want to drink. He's like, and then he goes, no, I mean, I'm drunk, but she drives. Like it's crazy though because it's a small world. Because when I lived with Big D, I got to meet Gary, I got to meet Corey, and I got to meet Ernie Macias, rest in peace. You know, and Tito and a lot of heavy hitters. Alex, may you rest in peace. Also, that's the whitest ass I know. Whitest ass I know. And you know what I mean by that, dude. That is the whitest ass I know. Alex, and if I could stand up, I would drop my drawers on behalf of that man.
Yeah,
because
Alex
that's
Anderson.
yeah. So when you guys had like when it comes to mini trucking and the history of what we've all gone through, you guys are only 3 members. Are you guys trying to expand and get more members, or do you guys like?
So what happened was kind of more of a resurgence. So a lot of us out of South Florida, you know, life happens, right? You grow up, like the company I work for moved me across the country. And it took our founder, who's still around and still, you know, hell, he's got it tattooed on him, like it's part of his life. One day just called me up and was like, hey, you know, we want to get the band back together. Like we've all kind of been in hibernation, but you know,
Do you believe it's hibernation, or you just believe that life caught up with us?
I mean, at the end of the day, I rocked the logo until I sold that last truck I had. I just never went to car shows.
It takes me 30 minutes to get out of bed. Like we're old.
We're old,
Okay.
exactly.
You know,
Exactly.
Ben has more gray hair than fucking.
Right.
Know.
Hey,
Then-
listen,
then,
you
you
know,
know.
we're all there, right? Well, you
Yeah,
know,
oh,
I don't care.
geez.
I'm bald.
I don't even have
You
hair.
didn't have it, fucking-
But you know, our thing was, you know, we bringing back that nostalgia of enjoying time with other clubs, with us. You know, so much has happened since the '90s and that era that you know we thought, you know what, yeah, let's do this again. It's a different time now. We have so many people everywhere, and now we've got members all the way up into like New Hampshire, Connecticut.
Do you believe that the technology that we have and the other than the technology and everything else that we have now compared to before, like before we would write a letter, you're my pen pal.
Oh yeah,
Now we're just
well,
like
that's
click
how
away.
we found each other.
So,
like
you know what I mean?
you know, found us on social media.
Yeah.
If
So
it
like,
wasn't for
like
social media,
so you think that like, you know, because of social media, we're actually building a bigger foundation than when we started.
100%.
I think part of that, where you're going with that, is a lot of us are getting back into it again. Like we took our hiatus for a little while because life, work, whatever was going on. You know, it wasn't until I got my blue S10 that I was in, you know, hanging out with Sean Yeager again, and suddenly he's like, you know, what
Sean
do you?
Yeager?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's like, hey, you have some coils or something I could put on that? And he's like, yeah, I'm gonna.
That was the order,
hey,
bro.
hand me a set of coils. Which I thought it was gonna be like a 2-inch drop.
No,
It was like 4.
he's
And
a
so then
hoarder,
I was like, shit.
That dude's a
Now
hoarder
maybe I
with
should
a lot of
bag it.
parts.
And so I started this whole trek of getting into it, and I met Benjamin Turpek, and
Yeah. Fucking Benny.
yeah.
Fucking Ben.
And so
I had him
we
on
were
the show
doing
also.
the porch,
Yeah.
hanging out on the porch in the carport crew
Yeah.
over at Sean's house. And all of a sudden, I'm that excitement of being around everybody and people come around I haven't seen for years and just saying, you know what, hey, this is cool. And then I ran into Johnny down at Jackson's, and then like, hey, let's talk. And so, things started going on. He started coming over, helped work on my truck.
Okay, but here's the thing, guys. You guys are 3 members, okay? My car club is 3 members. Your car club is worldwide. When it comes to that and we're all trying to work on our shit, do you believe it's harder to have a bigger club get together, or is it easier when a small club gets together? Because you guys are only 3 members, so unless you guys
And it's still hard for us to get together.
Yeah.
I literally was in Utah this morning.
I haven't seen
and
him
flew down
in
here.
months.
Yeah.
So I think it's all relative.
I think it is too. And within clubs, you have your little cliques, right?
Sure.
Which the people are always hanging out with each other. For a while, like me and Chucky, for example.
Oh,
or Chucky and I, dude, we were inseparable.
I'm gonna
bro.
ask you this: can you get Chucky to come on?
I doubt it.
Because he is a metal fucking master.
He's a genius. He's a genius.
He is,
But he's so busy.
but he has so many patents.
He does. He's a genius.
Dude, okay, so if you don't know, AKA Mr. Chucky Bomb, with his Apache, that was this motherfucker did a whole tutorial on how to replace the fucking House of Rust, and he fucking, dude, the way he did it was so fast, and he schooled people within the quickness to replace that panel.
I have to give all the props in the world to Chucky when it comes to my car.
I'm telling you, dude,
he pushed me like super hard, and because I'm the type of guy that like on my own shit I second guess everything. I touch someone else's and I don't ever second guess it, but mine I'm always like chopping up ideas, and I'm like, man, I don't think I can do it. And he was the one that was like, you're gonna do it, and we're gonna do it this Saturday, and I'm gonna be right there with you,
and that's the shit,
I'm gonna
dude.
make sure you're doing it right, but you're gonna do it. But my car wouldn't be where it was if it wasn't for Chucky. He came over. Well, at the time too, we only lived a couple blocks away from each other.
Yeah.
But I mean, it was every time we were just.
He's a guy when you hear Chucky Bomb, when you hear Chucky's name, he's a dude that does not. He had social media for like a second, and that was it.
Yeah,
he did like 2 or 3 videos of some shit,
so talented.
and that was it, bro.
So
but
talented.
he is like, if I were to sit there and put people that I wanted to learn to teach off of when I was in high school, it would be Bob Grant, Chucky Bond, and it would be fucking Davis from Devious. And it would be Ian Russell, Roussel.
Oh yeah.
Because of the metal fab work. Because like I went to WildTech, and the metal fab work that we learned was just your basic fucking, you split a panel, you replace a panel, you're done. The tricks and trade that I learned coming up was a body man going, hey bro, you want to fucking learn how to do that panel a little bit faster? Without having to cut a pinch weld? Yeah, sure. All right. Boom, 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 boom. Like we all learned our styles of mini trucking with our own tricks and trade. We've all come to the fact that, shit, if you want to drop a fucking cab, it'll take you so many minutes. Why? Because you know how to do them. It'll take him a little bit longer. What? Because he did it a different way. We all have our own tricks and trade to how we grew up learning how to build trucks. You know what I mean? Like for me, I learned from what I learned from WildTech and what I learned from working in body shops and what I learned from older dudes that were like, hey man, so I heard you do this. Yeah. Hey, I'll show you how to do it this way. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like you said, it's like for me, it's a lost art. A lot of kids nowadays do not know, are not being like walked through though. There's no auto shop anymore. We're not learning, there's nobody going, hey man, you want to learn how to shave a door? like you want to learn how to do that. Like,
Yeah.
you have kids that are like, cool. You have what I call the box builders. You ever heard of that? The box builders? You know, and you pull out the box and you fucking, the R&R guys, you know, pull out the box, repair and replace. No, that's fucking garbage. To me, I get it. You want to repair and replace, cool. But at the same time, learn. Repair something. Put something together, because right now we're losing art left and right. We're losing kids that want to learn how to fucking airbrush a fucking panel. You know, how to do a two-tone with a simple break of a piece of tape.
Yeah.
All it takes is one length of tape and you created a two-tone.
Look at, you know, the
Think
pin
about it.
strappers. That
Yeah,
are out
pin
there. You know,
strap.
like
Pin
people like
strappers.
Bugs have been around for
Oh, dude.
ages, dude. You got
How
a
many-
bunch of those guys that are just not coming up like that.
How many times do you believe that fucking Ed Roth painted over a fucking a bug that painted, you know, if you see some of the videos of like Von Dutch and there's beer can, have you seen those videos of Von Dutch and there's like beer cans in the background? When I went to Wildtech, they would show us when he would do the pinstriping on the boat, and you like the camera guy would zoom back and it's like beer cans everywhere, and it was like,
How much was in there?
you were like this, and you're like, I knew a guy that his hand, he would shake so bad, and you would see he would hit the fucking side of the car, and it was just like,
Stay steady.
yeah, and you sit there and you're like, how the fuck do you do that, bro? Like, how like, are you an alcoholic? Like, what the fuck do you want? Like, you have to shake so bad, and you're just like he would be like, yeah, dude, you know, and then you would see him like, and then as soon as he fucking hit the button, it's like,
Yeah.
and he would stop and was like,
It's just how their brains are wired, man.
yeah,
Like,
you
it's just
know,
like,
and then there's guys that I'm gonna say that people that are building trucks meticulously, there is autistic builders. There are people in the mini truck scene that are artistic people, and they build stuff that is phenomenal. And you sit there and you're like, what gave you the geometry to build something that like you know, you got cantilever setups that are like, you hit the bag and it fucking hits the shit and it fucking goes.
You know,
What the
nowadays
fuck is
too,
that?
you have this whole tech generation,
Yeah.
bro, and you have, you know, all the CAD programs
Oh,
and SolidWorks
that was
and 3D printing,
Yeah.
and you can build all this stuff
Yeah,
on
but
a computer
remember
and send
when
it
that
to
came
another
out?
computer where it gets cut out
Yeah.
or 3D printed. I mean, so
But
like,
remember when that came out, when we were coming up? You know, I'm an 80s kid, but when that was coming up, you know, it was only one dude who had the table.
yeah.
And they're like,
Yeah.
dude, can you build me mounts? And you were spending grips of money just to build fucking custom mounts.
And now everybody mounts.
Yeah, everybody has a table.
Yeah.
Everybody gets a plasma table.
Yep.
It's like Oprah Winfrey. You get a plasma table, and you get a plasma
but
table.
that's cool. That's
Johnny,
cool.
you're
That's-
quiet, and you get a plasma table. You know.
But that's cool. That's rad. That
Yeah.
the possibilities and all that.
And
Having
now
these guys
with the
that are just-
technology.
So you're
Just
still
pure talent.
fabricating, but it's using today's
Better
technology.
tools.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because remember, guys, when we were coming up, we were hammering fenders. We were building roll pans by
Oh,
hand.
yeah.
You know, the only person we knew at the time for me was Bob
Yeah.
Grant.
Yep.
You know, that's all we like. You know, and if you know, you had to get a hold of somebody who got a hold of somebody to get you him so he can build your shit,
Yes.
because we didn't have the internet.
I think
You
it's
know.
important to get some kids that do have interest in, you know, in the hands of these people like Chucky or, you know, Bob Grant
Yeah.
or something to keep, because at some point it's going to be a lost art. You know what I mean?
Okay, here's a big question.
And you see somebody that you know can build a fender out of a flat piece
Oh
of sheet
shit,
metal.
dude!
Yeah.
Or
You
take
know,
a fender that's
like
been
Mike
destroyed.
Peters. You know, somebody
Oh,
that
Mike
builds a
Peters.
beautiful piece out
Mike
of sheet
Peters,
metal. That's
bro.
it's going to be a lost art, but it's our job to get the kids interested in it. Our kids, you know, my sons, like, you know, show them, and hopefully they take interest.
Okay, but
right?
here's this.
But we can't do it. But if
Here's
there's a
it.
kid that I'm associated with somehow that has an interest, you
If
know,
somebody,
your
if-
kid or your
if
kid's like,
somebody
hey,
asks you to
he likes what you do,
Okay,
send him over.
if somebody asks you
I
guys, if somebody asks you right now, if you got a shop, if you guys have a shop, say, I'm gonna say, you know, let's play fantasy. You have a shop. Okay. You have a kid coming off to you. You have a kid right now, 2024, walk up to you from the streets. Go, hey man, I want to apply. I just want to, like, I just want to sweep. You know, I want to learn. You know, like, will you give that benefit of the factor compared to when we were coming up, being those kids going, hey man, hey, I'll fucking sweep the fucking floor if you show me how to prime.
Oh yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
like,
Why not?
Like, do you think if kids now were offered that chance to go, hey man, come on, I'll train you. Do you think we can keep the automotive industry, customizing industry alive?
I think so.
Oh, yeah.
You know.
And that's why I think we have to
With
protect
that.
the shows and protect the hangouts and protect all that stuff, because, you know, we're gonna lose that access to those kids.
Yeah.
And the thing too is with the technologies, you know, as I've been going down the rabbit hole of getting back into all this, is
Get out the rabbit hole.
the YouTube videos of people that are putting it out there for free of charge. You know, like
Trust me, Wayne. I had to use a YouTube video
All the
how to
time.
fucking
Thank
pull a
God for
radiator
YouTube.
out of my
Yes.
fucking sport track.
And
but I'm watching.
You know, it took 2
YouTube
minutes and I
mechanics.
did it in a
Yeah.
minute and a half. You know, but
Some-
still.
but talking in like some of the things about fabrication, there's some really good channels out there that guys are showing you how, without all the expensive tools, you got a bag, you got a hammer, I can show you how to make a fender.
Yeah.
You know,
Okay.
it's like,
But with
But
the
that's
swaps
badass.
too, there are videos with the guys that are doing swaps.
Yeah.
They're in motor swaps, body
yeah,
swaps, and
absolutely.
they're walking you through that.
Yeah, and I think that helps because there's that generation that has been grown up watching videos on their phones
Yeah.
only and tablets, and maybe they're not going to the shows because they're apprehensive of seeing us older guys out there, thinking we're not going to give them their opportunity.
Yeah.
But they can watch
Hey,
it
I
on a
can watch
video.
porn on my computer. I think I can download a video how to pull out a fucking starter, beat a fender back. in the
Yeah,
face.
but you know, watching a video and actually.
Oh,
doing
it's
it
way
is-
Oh,
way
yeah,
fucking
yeah,
different.
it's totally
Trust me,
right?
I didn't know there was that many bolts to fucking pull a
You know what I'm
radiator out
saying?
of a
So,
sport
but
track.
and that's where we come in. If we can get the kids and say, "Yeah, I know you watched the video 50 times, but
But
let's see
it's
you
way
do it."
harder. Yeah.
Let me show
What
you that.
size is that
Oh,
bowl?
how's this?
Right? You
How's
know,
this?
You know,
Do it without a fucking lift.
Yeah,
just
Right,
yeah.
do it.
because when we were doing it, there was no lift.
Fuck,
Now-
no.
Now, unfortunately, I have
Still
that.
doing it.
Yeah.
Still don't have one.
Still doing
My buddies have them, but I don't have.
Right,
Yeah. No, we were always trying to find that. We
I got a
Hey,
big please
hey,
steal to try
hey,
to use
you
one.
can't tell me that when we were on in high school, we all had the homie who had a lot of money with the lift. You know, and we were
Not
all
me.
we,
No.
I had the
no.
homie that had all the jack stands.
See, for
That's
me-
it.
Yeah.
For me, it was like I said, my homie Andy Huffman, who was a one-upper dude. He had the house with the fucking lift, and we were always like, "Hey, bro, fucking."
Yeah.
I was lucky if I had a jack that could fit underneath it.
Oh,
and lift it high enough
Right.
for the jack.
No,
stands.
my dad always told me, he goes, my dad, because my brother had a fucking lower Datsun, he goes, you drive up on the bricks.
Yeah.
My dad put some bricks, he goes, drive up on the bricks, and then you get the jack underneath.
Yeah.
Bunch
You
of
know.
2x4s, man.
Yeah.
All right, guys, we're shooting at fucking 10. And you know what, guys? I want to thank you guys for coming on. Is there any fucking YouTube, any different places where they can reach you guys at?
Social media, right? Facebook, Instagram,
Are you guys always looking for club members?
always. I mean, that was the whole reason why we got the band back together. was,
So
you
you
know,
heard
now
it,
that
guys.
all the social media,
You heard it right now.
Yeah.
Local minis. Show your nudes. Show your chesticles. Show your chesticles. Don't show your balls, but show your chesticles and show that paint job. They're all about that fucking lovely paint. You know, I want to thank you guys. Is there anything like Garrett? Can they reach you at the kind of different
Yeah,
social
social media. Yeah, I'm not.
Nothing new.
Nothing new.
Garrett and NC.
That's me. Yep.
Facebook. Garrett.
Facebook, Garrett Hoskins.
Okay.
Yeah, hit me up.
Cool.
If there's
And
any
you
kids
guys
out
same
there,
thing.
people that are interested.
Yeah, my truck's famous because of Michaela.
I
Yeah,
know. I know.
yeah.
And then the bat lady, your old lady over there.
Right.
Bat lady.
But how Michaela's done some amazing work with my truck, and that's awesome.
Nice.
Kids,
Is she building your fucking bed or what?
Right.
Yeah. Shit, dude, that's awesome, bro. You know who she learned that from?
Oh yeah, the mad
Yeah.
scientist.
She learned that from the mad scientist.
Yo.
You know.
He's guided me on that one.
Yeah.
Him and a couple of those guys from NC like Robbie and stuff like that. So,
Damn, dude. Yeah, Robbie's like the famous man that we only see a couple months to a year. You know, he's
He's
still
a
got that Ford.
talented guy too.
He still got that Ford or no?
The Ford.
Well, no, what's he got now?
He had a
He's got
C10.
I know he has a C10.
No,
but-
Robbie's got the Lexus.
Lexus.
Oh, and
Lexus?
Lexus.
Oh, why?
On Juice.
Yeah,
Ah,
but he had
like-
that
I
C10.
yeah, I remember that.
That was on the like transport wheels or the
yeah.
solid.
The old
Yeah.
like the. What
It was
the-
cool, and like Jersey did the
Yeah,
the
what would be
cluster
the
and stuff in it.
big wheel of like the
Like a Steely.
yeah the Steely from fucking
Yeah.
I want the Detroit Steel style.
Yeah.
Yeah. Robbie's that one dude that you know see a couple months. He's
Talented,
like faster.
talented guy too. Real talented.
Super talented, dude. His work alone, like, dude, that dude does metal work like nobody's business. Him and Chucky,
Yeah, Chucky.
Chucky's the shit. And like, what are you guys all like? You guys done your metal work no matter what? Like, are you guys doing stuff right?
Yeah, I've done everything with my truck.
Yeah.
So remember, guys, right now, Lay Frame, you got local minis, you got Garrett from Negative Camber. You guys can reach them at their Facebook pages and anything. We want to give a shout out to everybody wherever you're at. Next time, tune in. We have everybody coming out. Thank you guys again for coming out.
Thanks
And
for having
we'll
us.
see you
Thank you
in the
for
next
having
one.
us. Having
It
us.
was
It
cool.
was a good time.
Even though I was quiet.
Nah, no, you got it. Wait, you're fine.
Yeah.